Hello, everyone, and happy Halloween, and welcome to the Clockwork Cantina, episode 137. I am one of your hosts, Josh902, and this is the other host of this show.
Ahoy, mateys, and I am DT3. How are we doing today, everyone? How are
Ahoy,
we?
ahoy, hoy, hoy. Hi, everybody, and welcome to the show. Uh, Originally, we were going to have a guest today, but unfortunately, due to scheduling, things just
Didn't
happen. It's
work
the way
out.
it is. It's just the way it is. But it's
Yep.
fine. DT and I are going to carry on with the show. We'll be talking about Tales of the Jedi in the second half of the show.
Yes.
We'll be talking about what we've been up to the past week and all that stuff, and we got news to go over. But first off,
Dude.
happy Halloween, everybody.
Happy Halloween, everyone. As you can see, we're dressed up,
We
as
are?
we have been dressing up for the past couple years since 2020, I believe we've been dressing up, huh? So
Yeah,
pretty
pretty
cool.
cool.
Pretty cool
Oh,
what
yeah.
we've been
I
doing.
love doing it. Like, obviously, this year was a little bit harder to do because the money is not
Yeah.
the best right at this moment. But
Yeah. I wasn't
um,
sure if I was gonna do it either, but here we are.
But here we are. I was able to get a mask, and I'm reusing the robe from last year, and it's a completely new costume. Which,
Yeah.
obviously, DT is a pirate. It looks
Yes.
dope, and I am, I guess, Vizzy T. When I bought the mask,
Visit T.
I wasn't thinking about
Yeah.
being Vizzy T, but I am, I guess. I was just thinking about like I'll be the Phantom of the Clockwork Cantina, but this works. The Vizzy T also works.
Shout out to
Um,
Busy T, man.
He's an awesome, awesome cat. Let me turn DT up because I usually turn him up before we go live, and I didn't because I want to make sure he's heard. Very well. All right.
Thank you, thank you.
But yeah, if you guys out there are dressed up today, send us photos. I want to see what you look like. We had a little get together and we got to see everybody's costumes the other night, and that was a lot of fun. Um,
Yeah.
I always love seeing what people dress up as, what they've been inspired to be. Obviously, there was a lot of Game of Thrones, uh, House of
Yeah,
Hot D.
a lot of House of the Dragon costumes this year, that's for sure.
Yes, and probably will be again in like 2 years.
Yeah.
Because when it comes down
2
again,
years when we get season 2.
right?
So, it's funny, I was reading an article last night about, like, the wait time for some of these shows. We probably won't get season 2 for House of the Dragon, The Rings of Power, and Andor for another 2 years at least, for all 3 of
Yeah.
those, so
So look,
it's
guys,
gonna be a bit of a wait.
a reason to live 2 more years. Well,
There
yeah,
you go.
you gotta
If you
stay
enjoyed
alive.
either or all of those shows so far, then hey, you're getting more in like 2 years. So if you need a reason, there you go. It's kind of morbid, but hey, man, this is the
Hey,
joke.
look, you need a reason to live, right? If you don't already got one. For some people, it could be your fams, your kids, your whatever. And for some other people, it's TV shows and movies. And it's like, I never thought this would get made in my lifetime. I need to stay alive long enough to enjoy it. So, it's
Yeah.
maybe it is a little morbid, but at the same time, I don't care. It's a reason to keep living. Enjoy
Hell
your reason
yeah.
to
There
keep
you
living.
go. There you
Uh,
go. There you go.
exactly. Also,
Um,
I can't guarantee this mask is going to stay on the whole time because it does start to rub the face after a little bit. Also, I don't have my glasses on, so.
Speaking of which, I didn't have mine on, but I'm gonna put them on now because you guys. There you go. You guys have seen what it looks like without the glasses, but I need these to see. So
Yeah,
welcome.
I can kind of get away with it because DT reads all the news. Usually.
Yeah.
Um, uh,
Anyway,
but no guarantees. All right, let's start with what we've been up to the past
all right,
week.
let's do it. Let's do it. So over the past week, I've been playing the Vidgy games, playing some Rogue Company, still doing some, did the Overwatch 2 Halloween stuff, completed the battle pass for that. Been continuing to play Fortnite as well. The Fortnitemares event has been pretty, it's been alright. I mean, I've heard it's my first year playing, Fortnite during the Halloween stuff, but I've heard it's been better before, um, in previous years. So, um, yeah. But I've enjoyed it regardless. I don't know what I'm missing out on really because I haven't played any of those stuff, but it's been okay. Some of the skins they brought into the game have been kinda lame, but I mean, at the same time, that's also a good thing because Not like I got money to spend anyway.
Right.
Uh, so, it's both a good thing, and it's not great thing game-wise, but it's a good thing for me personally because 'cause I'm like, well, saves me money I don't have, so, anyway, so yeah, been playing that. I started playing The Division 2. I even played it on stream, last Friday. Um, I know Josh has been playing that a lot lately. I'm up to level 7. I had played this game before on PS4, like, years ago when it came out, but, again, it was on the PS4, so starting again from nothing, I'm up to level 7 again. It is pretty fun. I do enjoy it. I have to play some more, as well here coming up. Um, on stream, I beat, Phobia Saint Dinfa Hotel and the Blair Witch games. Both of those played, beat on stream. Um, yeah, good stuff. Um, and, yeah, I've been watching a bunch of movies and stuff, so I watched Pearl, which is the prequel to X. Uh, really good. Mia Goth is, absolutely incredible in that. Definitely check that out, if you've seen X. Even if you haven't seen X, I mean, it's a prequel, so just check it out. It's pretty good, pretty good. Um, I watched, Cabin in the Woods, Barbarian, and Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
How did you like
Some of
Cabin
those
in the
I'd s
Woods? Have you seen
Cabin
it
in the Woods
before?
was alright. No, I hadn't seen it. It was okay.
It's
I
full of
know a lot
Easter
of
eggs
people.
for us.
Yeah. I thought it was alright, but yeah, I watched that and I watched, Barbarian and, Tucker Dale versus Evil, which I thought that one was pretty funny. I hadn't seen that one either, and that was pretty good.
Did you
Barbarian is definitely a spookier one, yeah, more horror-ish if you're into that, for sure. Whereas, like, Tucker and Dale was more kinda comedic horror. But anyway, what are you gonna say?
did you see the Left 4 Dead boomer in Cabin in the Woods?
I don't think I did. I'll
It's
have
in
to.
there. There's a ton of video game horror things that happen,
Huh.
but they're very quick. There's a ton of like the boomer from Left 4 Dead is in there. I think during the elevator scene or during a elevator scene. I can't remember.
Hmm.
There's a lot of neat little Easter eggs in that movie.
I don't know.
But
To be honest with you, I didn't. I feel like I'm gonna have to rewatch it because I was like watching it, but not like
paying
watching it.
attention
While
too
like I didn't
much.
give like
I
I
got you.
wasn't really paying too super much attention.
But yeah, the boomers in there
So
from Left 4 Dead. That's
yeah.
all I remember about that movie. It's been a while since I've seen it. But I remember like it's specifically, I think it's in the trivia. They're like, we took a bunch of video game references and put them in the movie, and that's really
That's
why
cool.
I like that movie.
That's cool then. Yeah, no, I'll have to rewatch it and pay more attention for sure. Cause yeah, like I said, I was kind of like I was watching it, but like I wasn't like putting as much attention to it as I could have. So
And I know you're big on Left
yeah.
4 Dead. Like I think
Yeah,
this is
no,
the
yeah,
first year in like the past 2 years where we haven't played Left 4 Dead around this time. We
yeah, we
usually
we
get on
we
and
didn't.
play it.
Yeah, exactly.
Uh,
Usually we do. I do want to get fucking Back for Blood at some point too. 'Cause that also would be fun to play, which is kind of the same style. But anyway, um yeah. And then I watched the first 6 episodes of Guillermo del Toro's Cabinet of Curiosities. And some of those were good, some of them were not. They're kind of hit or miss, I think,
that's the
for the
thing with
most part.
those types of shows where it's like
Like anthology
everybody does
shows,
their
yeah.
own episodes, right? So some are good, some miss, and some are just bad.
Yeah. So yeah, some of them are good, some of them aren't. It is what it is. And then obviously watch the latest episode of Andor, which is the 8th episode. We have 4 more to go, and then we'll be doing an episode on that show in about a month now. Because we got 4 episodes left, so 4 more weeks.
Looking forward
About a
to
month we'll
talking
be
about
doing an
that.
episode of that. Yeah, it'll be fun. But yeah, that's pretty much what I've been up to, man. So take it away, good sir.
All right. Well, Tales of the Jedi, which is obvious. We'll be talking about that in the second half of this show.
Yeah.
I had it in my notes from from when we were gonna have the other episode, but we swapped it up. Andor I've
Yes.
watched, so I'm caught up on Andor. Uh, I've also watched Guillermo del Toro's Cabinet of Curiosities, episode 1 through 6, and like DT said, some episodes are hit, some episodes are miss, some episodes are real miss. Um, and last night I watched All Quiet on the Western Front, which is this Netflix movie with my old man. I was like, you know what? I haven't watched a movie with my dad in a while. And this just came out, and we like, a war movie, but All Quiet on the Western Front's more of like an anti-war movie. But it's still interesting to watch about World War One. I recommend checking it out. You might find. I want to say you'll enjoy it, but the movie is very brutal, so I don't know about how much enjoyment there is to get it. It's
You'll
a it's
you'll
a
enjoy
movie.
it.
You know what I mean? Like I think it would pique your interest. I guess would be the correct way to say that. Um,
Yeah.
so I watched that. It was fairly good. And the weight loss update. So you guys know we do weight loss updates every week, even when I gain weight. Well, this week I got good news. We didn't gain weight. We lost weight. I had my cheat
Hey.
cheat day 2 weeks ago, and when that happens, I usually stall out
Yeah.
for a week or even go up a little bit. But this past week we lost. Let me look at my board. Oh no, I ain't got my glasses on. I can't see. Uh, I got a
I
board
can't
that I
see.
write down. Um, yeah, we went down like 5 6 pounds. I can't see really well without my
Nice,
glasses
dude.
on.
Well, hey, either way,
Um,
dude, that's pretty good, man.
which what's nice about that is not only did we lose the weight we gained back, we lost an extra pound. So that
Yeah.
means we're back, baby.
That's that's good. Yeah. Good shit, man.
Yeah. So yeah, we're losing weight again. We're all caught up to where we were previously and keep going. So I'm very happy with that update. I felt like a lot of pressure, even though I shouldn't have. I felt like a lot of pressure this past week where I was like, man, I really hope when I get to that weigh-in on Sunday, I'm not stalled out. I really hope it's gone back down. I was like, I just want to break even. I just want to break even with my weight gain. Because I knew when I knocked myself out of keto, I was going to gain water weight. That's just facts. That's how it works. Your body
Yeah.
retains water when you get off keto. Um, so I was thrilled when I stepped on the scale and it was like, not only did you lose all that water weight, you fucking lost an extra pound on it. So that
Oh
made
yeah, dude.
me very happy. I feel like the pressure's off.
Yep.
I can just kind of not worry about it as much this week. I'm gonna plan on making a bunch of dice this week. That's kind of like my plan going forward for this week because we are back in the dice making in full swing. Um,
Zer.
so we hell to the yeah. Majin, thank you for your subscription. Appreciate you in the chat, buddy. Um, but yeah, man, that's kind of what all I've been up to this past week. Oh, that's not true. I played a little bit of Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlord, and then I modded it till I broke the game, and I've been trying to fix it. So I gotta, I
I
gotta,
I just broke the game, you
I
know.
just bro, I modded it till I broke it, which is how I do games, and I'm working on fixing it. Um, and I'm gonna work on that after I'm done here, because I don't think I'm gonna make dice today. I think I'm just gonna, I might make a set and throw in the pot, and that might be the end of the dice making for
Yeah, I
today.
mean it's Halloween. You can chill out. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Good.
it's a little cooler here, which means that the dice don't want to. Guys, my since we're just talking about it already, right? Like we're just sitting here chilling. It's just me and DT and you chat. Like the plan is we're gonna get a laptop and we're gonna stream the dice making at some point on this channel, so you guys will get to see
Hey.
that if it's interesting to you at all. It's just the plan is to get a laptop sometime in November, maybe around Black Friday, seeing what deals kind of pop up. So that is the plan. Since we're chatting about it a little bit, but DT, let us go ahead and hit the news, my friend, if you are ready, and we can continue on, shall we?
All right. Well, if we're ready to move on to the gaming news, then let's go ahead and do that. We do have a little bit. We do have a little bit. We have not as much as we would usually have no news wise, but we still have some things to talk about. So let's go ahead and do that then.
All
All
right,
right. First thing that we have here today is we have an announced trailer for Age of Mythology Retold. So they are apparently, well, you know what? Let's just watch it and then we'll talk about it. How about that?
let's do it.
So three, two, one, go.
Gods will return. Heroes will rise. Legends will battle. Age of Mythology.
Retold. So there it is. Age of Mythology is back, baby.
DT,
Bringing it back. Yes.
we're responsible for this. You know that, right? Because of all the years that we have talked about Age of Mythology, we've
Bro,
talked about it on the show. We've talked about it
I've
in
talked
Discord.
about
We've talked
I've
about it.
talked about Age of the Empires 2, talked about Age of Mythology, and both of those have been remade or being remade or remastered or whatever. The only one that I'm missing now, Josh, the only one that I'm missing now is
I know what you're
Galactic
saying. Yep,
Battlegrounds.
I know you're
Bring
gonna
me
say
some
it.
Galactic Battlegrounds and add more content, dude. Because the original Galactic Battlegrounds was only the original trilogy and Phantom Menace. And then back in those days, we used to get expansions for video games. So uh, we had the Clone Campaigns expansion, which brought episode 2 shit. And that was it. That was the end of it. Because then after that, a couple years later, they came out with Empire at War. So we never got anything else for we didn't get any RTS for Revenge of the Sith or anything after that. So I need a remade slash remastered Galactic Battlegrounds with added content that is Revenge of the Sith and afterwards, because that's the one that's missing. That's the one that's missing.
You're right.
We've gotten Age of Mythology now, or we're getting Age of Mythology. We've gotten Age of Empire, so Galactic Battlegrounds is the one that's left. But no, this is cool, man. I think one of the first games I ever streamed was probably Age of Mythology, like years ago. I want to say like years ago, Age of Mythology was one of the first ones that I streamed. It was pretty. It's a fun game. I remember playing it like quite a bit back in the days, but it's a fun game, man. And this is cool, man, that they're doing this. Like, definitely, we're gonna be keeping an eye on that. So for sure, we'll be talking about it on here whenever there's new information, because yeah, it's gonna be good, I think. But yeah, this is awesome. I think it's such awesome news. I'm very glad that this is happening, because as much as I like the old, the original, it's gonna be really cool to see it like kind of updated and all that.
God,
So very very excited about that
I
for
need to
sure.
go disable that. Oh, doors.
What's up?
Chat. I guess I forgot to turn off a certain thing from forever ago. I need to go turn that.
Oh, I see. Well, that makes sense.
Oh,
First, yeah.
I was like, oh dear.
Yep. Yep.
Okay, it's off. There we go. Yeah, dude. Like, I'm with you on everything you just said. Like, I miss Galactic Battlegrounds as well. But let me tell you, the moment I saw this Age of Mythology retold trailer, I watched the trailer. I went to DT's Discord and I immediately tagged him And I was
Yep, I
like,
remember
look
that.
at this.
I remember I was looking at the tag and I'm like, what is this? And then I saw the title. I was like, what? Oh shit, dude, that's so cool. That's so
uh,
dope.
which it's
Um,
funny that's happened twice this week, actually. That me seeing something and running to Discord to tell you about it. Um, but yeah, man, I'm excited. Age of Mythology holds a special place in my heart. Like, I fell in love with that game when I first played it, and the fact that it's getting a remake or a definitive edition or whatever. I guess it's a remake because I think they've had a
yeah,
definitive edition already. Um, I'm thrilled. I'm excited. I'm I,
absolutely.
I'm wondering how they're
Great.
gonna do it. Are they gonna have new voices and stuff? As well, because that campaign does have some voice acting and stuff. I assume they'll have new recordings and stuff if it's a complete remake, right? Like, be interesting to see. I hope we see
I'm
more.
gonna be yeah, very, very, very interested to see how it looks, what they're gonna go with do with it. Cause yeah, it's gonna be cool, I think. Or at least we hope it will be, right? So
Mm-hmm.
we shall have to wait and see. But overall, I think this is exciting ass news. So I'm happy. I'm happy
Hell
about it.
yeah. All right, what's next?
Next up, we have a game overview trailer for Evil West.
Uh-huh.
Let's check this out whenever you're ready, Josh. It's a little 4-minute video
I'm ready.
here. Let's put that up there. All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
Welcome to Evil West. A dark menace consumes the American frontier. Rise up to become a Wild West superhero and eradicate the vampire threat. That's mine. In this narrative-driven action-adventure, you'll battle through an explosive campaign. Alone or with a friend.
Ooh, co-op.
Yeah, co-op?
Legends
Oh,
come
I didn't know
that.
this game was gonna be co-op.
Oh shit! I didn't know that either.
This makes me even more excited for this game.
Yeah.
I was already looking forward to it, but this is
bloodthirsty
awesome.
Creatures lurk in the shadows in this twisted vision of the Old West.
Hell yeah,
You
dude.
play as Jesse Rentier.
Jesse
vampire
Rentier.
hunter
That's
raised by his father
a
William
cowboy
in the
name.
ancient Rentier
a
Institute.
Western name.
My father in his office.
Look at that lever action on his
Last
back.
line of
I love it.
defense between humanity and the unrelenting supernatural forces. Jesse is already a well-trained hunter, though he can be unpredictable, rebellious, and stubborn.
Maybe you'll make it out of this after all.
Fortunately, you can always count on your partner Edgar, a retired Rentier agent forced back into action as a deadly vampiric conspiracy emerges from the darkness and deals a crippling blow to the Institute. Together, you'll lead the counterattack against these monsters, while Jesse learns to accept his growing responsibilities and become a leader. Explore every corner of the Wild West, from vast oil fields to infested mines, and mighty canyons to shadowy ghost towns. As you progress on your journey, you'll encounter new friends, vital for bolstering your forces against the vampire threat, but even more new folks.
Still on your father's leash, I see.
Evil West is all about over-the-top, high-octane action.
Fly away, boys!
Combine and customize all the tools at your disposal to defeat the supernatural hordes with style.
Yeah, this looks
and
fucking
efficiency.
awesome.
Yeah, this looks fun.
As you rebuild the Rentier Institute, you'll unlock a growing arsenal of weapons and equipment.
Yes, let's see what
Make
kind of weapons
use
we
of your
got.
trusty revolver for fast and reliable
Yeah,
damage
get that 6-shooter
from
going.
close to mid-range. With the rifle, you can directly target and hit enemy weak spots for devastating damage.
Nice.
Bullseye.
Damn.
Need more raw
Bullseye.
power? You'll want the Rentier boomstick.
The boomstick, here you go.
Sawed-off shotgun, ideal for close combat.
Whenever you're fighting demons or zombies or anything like that, you gotta have a shotgun.
Unusual threats require unusual tools. And sometimes a good lightning-powered punch is just what you need.
Lightning powered.
The Rentier
Glove.
Gauntlet is one
Gauntlet.
of the most advanced
Okay.
technological achievements from the Institute
Wow.
Research Laboratory to date.
Jesus Christ, what happened here?
There's a lot of deadly tools to
I like
try
how the
out in
guns on
battle.
his back waddle as
It's
he
up
moves.
to you to mix and match these tools, combined with melee and ranged attacks to create powerful combos while dodging, blocking, and parrying your way to victory. Each weapon and tool in your arsenal has its own skill tree, letting you upgrade and customize your playstyle even further. Infuse weapons with the power of lightning, or supercharge your gauntlet to unleash an endless
Ride
ballet
the
of
lightning,
dazzling
motherfucker.
Boom. Damn.
The world of Evil West is full of mysteries to uncover. And, well, colossal foes to take on.
Shit.
Whoa, whoa!
Become the ultimate vampire hunter. Dipshit. When Evil West releases on consoles and PC.
Man, November 22nd. Fuck, dude. So here's what I have to say about this. I was already looking forward to this game since it was announced
Mhm.
when I thought it was gonna be single player. But now that it's co-op, dude, and we get to see like all the weapons and shit you get to use, I'm so hyped for this, dude. I can't wait. I am really looking forward to this game, man. This is gonna be fucking awesome, dude. This is like totally my type of game, dude. I can't wait to play this. This is gonna be great, dude.
Yeah, this looks
Everything I've
great.
seen from it looks good. I didn't even, dude. I had seriously had no idea it was gonna be co-op. Did we know that before, or is this new to this? Because
It's
I
on their Steam
had
page
no
that you
idea.
can. I didn't realize it, but it's on their Steam page where it says you can play with up to one friend, I guess. Oh, where'd it go?
Okay,
I had it right in my.
so 2-player co-op
Yeah, it'll
makes
be
sense.
2-player co-op. Battle alone or with a friend in stylish, gory action combat. Yeah, so it'll be
Oh yeah.
just two folks.
Okay.
Because I know Majin was asking in the chat. We found the answer.
That
But
makes
yeah,
sense.
I didn't even realize this was gonna be co-op, which is fucking
No,
awesome.
again, I had no fucking idea, but that is really cool. Yeah, I can't, man. This is gonna be dope, dude. I am very much looking forward to this. This is gonna be awesome.
Yep, that's on the wish list. New
Hell, I
thing
mean,
to
shit.
ask for
I already
Christmas,
had it
y'all.
right. I already had it on there, but I'm like, this is. I just, yeah, that looks great. That looks fantastic.
Yeah.
Really, really good.
My lack of glasses leads to me clicking things I don't need.
Very, very.
All right,
cool.
that's dope as shit. What's next?
Absolutely. Next up, we have some Witcher news. And you might say, well, didn't we just have Witcher news not long ago? With uh, CD Project Red and all the stuff they have upcoming. Well, guess what? They're also doing a remake of The Witcher, the OG game, the original first one. They just announced it. I believe it was last Wednesday or so. That The Witcher's remake is being worked on. The original game that started it all is being rebuilt from the ground up in Unreal Engine 5. The game is currently in the early stages of development at Polish studios Full Theory, where veteran Witcher series staff are involved. And CD Projekt Red is providing full creative supervision. The Witcher remake is what you might know by the codename Canis Majoris. It's still early, and they want to ensure that the game is created with the utmost care and attention to detail. Therefore, they're excited to share the news with you that they want everyone to be as patient as possible, as it will be a while until they start talking about it in detail. But obviously, this is going to be a pretty big, uh, project for them because it was the first game that CD Projekt Red ever made, and it was a big moment for them. So going back to that, is gonna be it's gonna be bigger than it was in the first game. That's for sure, right? Because the
Mm-hmm.
first one came out like in 2007 or something, and I played the first one,
I have
and
to.
let me tell you, that game is rough, dude. I
Yeah,
played it a
it
few years
is.
back. The only reason why I played it is because I wanted to follow through the whole story of The Witcher, all 3 games. But goddamn, that game is rough as shit, bro. That game is so fucking rough, dude. Like, man. Anyway, I'm excited for this because it could be good, man.
Mm-hmm.
Shit, I might even be down to replay it if it looks good enough, like, fuck it. Or obviously it will look good enough, but I'm just picturing like in my head already like how much different it's gonna look like with because in the recent past couple years recently we've had a lot of remakes and remasters and stuff and it's some games have looked damn near like there are some where it's like The Last of Us, right? Where that one came out in 2013, they remade it, and like it's you can tell the differences, but like that one for me didn't really need one. I've mentioned that in the past. Like I feel like it didn't really need a remake, but then there are other games where like this game came out in fucking like the Resident Evil 2 or Resident Evil 3, right? They've been out forever and they remade them. They're like completely different games and shit. So yeah, just this is one that I feel requires one though, because yeah,
It
2007.
definitely.
It's kind of in that like mid area of like it's not like nowadays is definitely older looking at it, but like 2007 doesn't feel like it was that long ago, but at the same time it was. So I don't know. I'm what I'm trying to say is I'm very excited to see how it looks and how it's gonna look. I know we're not gonna get it for a long time, but that's fine. Like for me, I've already played the game, so it would be just like replaying it, the story, and like modern times. But yeah, what do you think, Josh? Of the Witcher remake? This
I
announcement
agree.
they had.
I agree with you for the most part. Like back when I played it, I just remember being like, these controls are the worst
Yeah,
thing of
they
all
are
time.
something.
They are terrible, and that's the biggest thing I remember from the original Witcher game. Is like that alone is like I'm glad they're remaking it. Like not to mention like the graphics and all that aside,
Yeah, well,
being able to
because
play the original Witcher with the actual good controls will make all the difference in the world to playing that fucking game.
yeah, because I know a lot of people that have not played the original one because it's just so dated, like controls wise, graphic wise, everything, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so it's gonna be like a million times better, like in every aspect. So I'm just excited to see how it's gonna look and feel and all that. So yeah. And that's the other thing. You played it when it came out. I didn't. I played it like I want to say maybe 4 years ago or something like that. So I played it more recently. Whereas Josh played it like when it first came out, right? Is that
Yeah,
what you said?
it's very
Yeah.
early
So
when it first. I don't know if it
yeah,
was like right when it came out, but I definitely played it.
you played it sooner than I did. That's for sure.
Comp USA was still a thing when I played it, so you know, because that's where I saw the box set. I remember that. Uh, um, but yeah, very exciting, very cool. I'm glad they're remaking it. Like we get a lot of remake news on here, and it's like for games that just came out and like or haven't been out like all that long, right? Like we've said it, but like
Yeah.
the Witcher one is like, okay, this has been long
This
enough.
one. This
The
one makes sense.
controls
Yeah.
are awful trying to replay that old game, and it feels like almost like completely separate from all the newer Witcher games. So I'm glad they're remaking it. It's one that could use a remake. Um, so yeah, pretty fucking dope. All
All
right,
right.
DT, what do we got next?
Next up, we have a new milestone for Dragon Age Dreadwolf. So they so EA has a like game update for Dragon Age Dreadwolf. Um, so what they're saying is that they've come a very long way since their last blog post back in February. And the team is incredibly happy to announce a huge step forward in the development of the game, that they have just completed their alpha milestone. Up to this point, they've been working hard on various parts of the game, but it's not until the alpha milestone that a game all comes together. Now, for the first time, they can experience the entire game from the opening scenes of the first mission to the very end. They can see, hear, feel, and play everything as a cohesive experience. Obviously, they say they're not finished by any means. The alpha is one of the most important game development milestones for a number of reasons. First and foremost, they can now turn their sights toward bringing the visual fidelity to its final form and iterating on gameplay features. The big question now is, where do we focus our efforts? To answer that, we solicit feedback from a number of sources, including our community council members, who each have unique perspectives and experiences, our quality verification team, and extensive internal playtesting. Gathering feedback from multiple resources gives us the greatest insight on where we need to spend more time improving the experience, is what the blog says. Additionally, we can now evaluate the game's pacing, how relationships evolve over time, and the player's progression, as well as narrative cohesion. Essentially, how the story comes together. You can take the story we've written and see if we're expressing it well through the characters, dialogue, cinematics, and ultimately the player's journey. Now that we have the ability to do a complete playthrough, we can iterate and polish on the things that matter most to our fans. Hitting Alpha was a culmination of so much effort from the entire team, and we've used this milestone as an opportunity to come together and to celebrate. They held a hybrid style event with people on site while others joined remotely, and the team showcased their work to everyone at BioWare. So if you want to read more of that, go check it out over on ea.com/game/Dragon Age News Alpha Milestone. So what do you think, Josh, about this uh kind of like pretty open, I would say, communication from their part, which I think I don't know if they've done this before or how many other like studios or devs do this, but like this is pretty like, hey, this is where we're at. I know you guys want to hear more news. I know you haven't had an update since February. This is where we're at. We're in alpha. We can kind of see the vision now. We can see it from start to finish. This is where we want. We can kind of focus on getting the good stuff down and what you guys want to see. So yeah, what are your thoughts on this, Josh?
I think that it is awesome, first of all, that they are so open with like the community, right? Because it's like it's one of the things that I think they were kind of open with the community with the last Dragon Age game, but I don't think it was like this early or to this extent, right? Like
Mm,
they BioWare, I think really, and EA too, because they are the ones that own BioWare, really seem to they really want this one to succeed, right? Like we've talked about how like EA went up there and was like, you guys need to reboot this. They were trying to do it. I think they were in Dragon Age. They were originally trying to do like a live service thing, supposedly was rumors. And I think EA of all people was like, no, don't do that. We're not gonna do that. We're gonna make the fucking story RPG that people want. So I think that's, and this might be part of that. This might not be part of that. Like the whole being open thing. I
yeah,
like that they're being so open with the community. I think what this means, and I said this in your Discord, is like I think we'll see a trailer for this at the Game Awards. I really do. Um,
that'd be nice.
that's my really early prediction of a
That'd be
Dragon
cool.
Age Game Awards
Yeah,
trailer. I would be kind of surprised if we didn't see one. This is their next big game that will be coming. Before, and I know they're working on another Mass Effect as well, which, by the way, in 7 day is next month, and it is actually on a Monday, so we'll be doing a show. We'll have
hey,
a in 7 days show, not an in 7 day show, but our show will be on in 7 days. What I'm trying to say.
yes,
Um. So that'll be interesting. We'll see if there's any I don't think there'll be Mass Effect news because it's still so early. It'd be cool if there was. You never know. You might get a little surprise, but it could happen. But that'll be cool. But yeah, I really like that they're being open with the community. They know Dragon Age means a lot to a lot of people, myself included. Um, like I would love for the original game and things to not necessarily get remade, but a remaster to work on newer systems and maybe a little graphics update and some control updates would be cool. Um, but yeah, I'm looking forward to how the Dragon Age series continues here with Dreadwolf. I'm a big fan. Um, and yeah, this is cool, and I feel like a lot of game devs don't talk about when they hit these kind of milestones. It's like, yeah, we're up in alpha. You can complete the entire game from beginning to end, which is fucking cool and means that we're getting there. Like this is massive. Like we might see this game. I don't know what the date they have on this is, or if they even have one.
No
But like
idea.
next year,
Yeah.
late next year maybe, or the beginning of the year after. But
Yeah,
it'll
but
be
this but it seems like this one's gonna be sooner than some other ones were, you know.
yeah. I definitely think it'll be a 2023 release personally. Um,
Hmm.
but we'll see. You never know how things go, and this is good news. It's good news,
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah, that's the biggest takeaway from this. I think is that it is good news
Mm-hmm.
for sure.
All right.
Absolutely. Good stuff.
I mean,
Um
what do we got next?
Next up we have a new Redfall trailer uh that invites us out to a bloody night on the town. So it's called the Into the Night trailer. It is a minute 45. Let's check this out and see what what
All right.
what it's about.
Give me fire when ready.
So when you're ready, Josh,
I'm ready.
okay, let me do a little bit of a countdown then. All right, 3, 2, 1, play. Calm seas and sunny skies.
I see you running. I see you hiding.
Why are you still hiding? We can protect you!
Well, it's red.
Blood for the blood god.
Bite back. Redfall. Okay, well,
How do you feel about this game?
so my thoughts on this game are that since it was announced and we saw the first initial trailer uh thing stuff that we saw, this game has kind of failed to really impress me, really. Like I'm not like I was hoping this trailer or I was just curious to see what this trailer looked like because to be honest with you, so far I'm not like I don't really feel like strongly about this game one way or the other. Like I don't even know if I want to play it be honest. Like it looks kind of, I don't know. I don't want to say generic, but it just looks like some like some vampire FPS game that like I don't know. It just I don't know. There's nothing about it so far that I'm like, man, that makes me really want to play that. So it's just it's a game, but I don't. Yeah, there's nothing really right now that I'm like, man, that for me is like something I need to check out, or this particular thing about this game makes me really want to check it out, or there's just nothing that like for me yet that makes me like even interested. Like right now, I'm just kind of like, all right, until they come out with another trailer or like we see some more gameplay of it that like looks intriguing and exciting to me. I'm kind of just gonna skip out on this one because it doesn't. There's really nothing like new that this brings for me personally. Like I don't really. In other words, it doesn't work. It does. It's not doing it for me. This game is not doing it for me. You know, like I'm sure
Mhm.
there's plenty of people out there that are excited for this, but personally, it's not doing much for me. Like I was hoping that maybe this trailer might change that, but well, not even hoping, but I was just again just curious. Like, what do they got for this new trailer? But so far, it seems like it's nothing really uh different for me. And yeah, like I said, it's just not doing it for me so far. But anyway, how do you feel about this one?
Honestly, I
You've
feel
known
kind of
about
the
it for a
same
while now.
way. Like ever since this game was announced, I haven't really been like, "Oh, that's interesting." I remember when they announced it, and it was like the last trailer at maybe it was a Summer Games Fest thing or something. I can't remember exactly which
Yeah, we
event it
we we
was.
we watched so many of those game show stuff that I don't fucking remember
I
which
don't
one we
remember
saw it
which
at,
one it
but
was
so we
at, but I
saw
remember being
we saw
like
it at
kind of
one of
let
them.
down. Yeah, I remember kind of being let down by it. Like I don't really like the art style that much. They got the big lanky vampires with the big arms, and they float around, and you run around with the guns and have powers and stuff. But it's like I don't know. It just doesn't grab me. I feel like the enemies are gonna be bullet sponges because they're gonna use the excuse that they're vampires. They have to be tough,
Yeah.
and like
Yeah.
I don't know. Like it may just be one of those games that's not for me. It may be a hit for everybody else, but it's one that's just not for me. Like that's perfectly possible. Like it just hasn't grabbed me, like even from go. So it's a little disappointing that it'll be something that I'm probably not interested in. Like the only way I would probably be interested in this is if it comes out and it has amazing reviews and it's like, oh, I need to check this out. But I will be honest, I don't think that's how it's gonna be. I think it's gonna probably be solid B's and C's across. I'm making very bad predictions that I shouldn't be doing right now, but I think it's gonna be a solid B and C rating type game. That's like, all right, maybe I'll buy this when it's a $5 sale on Steam in like 2 years or something. Like
Yeah.
I just don't know. It's
I get
not
you.
getting me.
This is not like yeah, I don't know. It's like I don't want to say it's not on my radar, but it's like it's just not something that I'm like actively like
Oh,
looking forward to or anything. You know what I mean?
it's
Like,
gonna be on the Game Pass, so.
oh well,
Hey,
there's
that's
if you want to
that's a
try it out
silver
without
lining. Yeah.
yeah, there you go. If you want to try it out without dropping too much, then there you go.
Well,
Get
that's
you
a good
Game
thing, at
Pass.
least.
And there you have it. So not bad, not bad, not bad.
All right.
All right, moving on from that, we have one last thing here in the gaming news. For me, I don't know if you got anything else in here, Josh, but this is the
I
last
haven't
one
even
I
looked,
got.
but
All
I'll
right,
look while you talk
so
about this.
the last thing we got here is that EA and Marvel Entertainment announced a multi-title collaboration. This is news from I believe today. Um, so yeah, they say today we've announced we will collaborate with Marvel on a long-term deal to develop at least 3 new action adventure games that will be available for consoles and PC. Each of these games will be their own original story set in the Marvel universe, with the first title in development being a single-player, third-person action-adventure Iron Man game, which we've heard about this one. We've known about
Yeah.
this one. The Iron Man game from Motive Studios. We've heard about that. We've been longtime fans of Marvel and their impressive leadership, so this is a remarkable moment for our developers as well as our players and fans," said Laura Miele, COO at EA. "We look forward to welcoming Marvel into the EA family of creators and know this collaboration will produce exceptional experiences for our players. Can't wait to see players' reactions when they suit up as Iron Man and do the extraordinary things the superhero is known for. At Marvel, we strive to find best-in-class teams who can take our characters on heroic journeys in ways they haven't before, and collaborating with Electronic Arts will help us achieve that," said Jay Ong, Executive Vice President at Marvel Games. "We pride ourselves on being enthusiastic, creative collaborators with developers so they have the freedom to create something deeply unique and truly remarkable. Team and Motive is getting started on that with their Iron Man game, and we can't wait for players to learn more for our future." So there you have it. So not
Yeah.
only are they working on the Iron Man, not only are Marvel and EA working on the Iron Man game with from Motive Studios, but apparently at least a couple other ones as well. Maybe like two, at least two more probably.
Didn't
And we
we?
don't have it.
Wasn't Black Panther one of the rumors? Isn't that a thing we talked about previously?
Yeah, Black Panther game was a rumor that we had mentioned that was maybe gonna be a thing. Yeah.
Could be that.
Um,
Could
which
be
is
one of those.
not to be confused with the Black Panther Captain America game, right?
I don't
Because
remember
that
everything.
uh I know that was like um officially announced somewhere
Yeah.
else as well that that's the Amy Henning game
Yeah.
that's being worked on by Skydance, I believe. Yeah. So that's not to be confused with that one. But yeah, so
I, w-
uh,
I wish I
there's
had
so
all our
much
previous notes near somewhere where I could be like,
there's
when did we
so
talk about this
much
again?
yeah,
You
I know,
know?
right? There's so much like so many games that have been announced that don't even have titles yet that are just like, here's what we're working on, and this is Marvel, and this is Star Wars, and this is this, and this is that, and you know, that are gonna be coming out. We just don't know when. So yeah. But
Where's our X-Men game?
I mean they're doing fucking what Insomniac is doing a Wolverine game, so at least we're getting that, right?
Yeah, we are getting that.
But no, I get you though, like a full proper, like full X-Men game. That would be dope.
Give me like an X-Men RPG, bro. Like think about it. Like you get to
Yeah,
be,
dude, you get
you
to
make
play
your
out
own
whichever one you
X-Men.
want to be. Oh,
And
do you make your own X-Men? That'd be
I'm not talking about like the
badass.
Midnight Suns deal. Not like that. I'm talking about
Yeah,
like a Dragon Age X-Men game where you make your X-Men, but you're going around, you join the fucking X Mansion,
that'd be
right?
fucking sick,
Like
dude. That would
think
be
Legacy
bad
of
fucking
Hogwarts,
ass.
but X-Men, right? You're hanging out with
Yeah.
Charles Xavier and all the X-Men crew, and you're doing a story, and you're leveling up your character, and you're gaining powers. I'm putting it out in the universe because I want it, right? Like I'm throwing it out there. I'm
No, yeah,
manifesting.
absolutely.
Words have power, according to Aaron Rodgers. So we're
Yeah.
gonna.
Oh God. Not that fucking guy, dude. Get the hell out with that
Uh,
shit.
I only said that to rile you up because I thought it was funny.
Oh my
Uh,
God,
but
dude.
it's Halloween. It's the day of dark magic and all that. So I'm putting it out
Spookiness.
there.
Ooh.
I'm putting it out there. X-Men
Fucking horse
RPG game.
dewormer. Ooh.
Ooh.
Oh man. Okay.
Ayahuasca. Ooh.
Yeah.
Fucking Aaron
Stupid.
Rodgers. All right, fucking. He goes and takes these. He goes and takes hallucinogens, right? And ayahuasca is
Oh
like a
my
plant
God.
that you like fucking like make tea out of it. I don't know. That dude's nuts.
Oh boy. Oh man.
Uh, anyway,
Oh
X-Men
shit.
RPG where I meant to make my X-Men hang around the X Mansion and go on missions
Yes.
and have a story. That's what I want.
Yes, that would be cool. Agreed. I would love to play that. That sounds
And
awesome.
not XCOM style, more Dragon Age style.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be so cool. I want that now. Why'd I have to think of that?
I don't know, but yeah, that sounds pretty dope. We should definitely you got to remember that for like whenever we do an episode for like our dream game or whatever, you know.
Right?
Anyway, that is it for the gaming news though. Unless you got anything else, we can
There
move on
is
to the TV
nothing
news.
else that I've seen. So we can move right on to the television news. Let me go ahead and transition our screen over.
Alrighty then, the
We should be
TV
good.
news it is. Alrighty, friend. So on to the TV news. We have some pretty big news. Honestly, the biggest news of the week is here in the TV section. We got a lot of TV news this week.
All right.
One of the biggest stories is that James Gunn and Peter Safran are going to be leading DC Studios for Warner Brothers Discovery. So we've talked about for a while now that DC has kind of been searching, wondering who's going to be taking over for them because they have a big shake. They've had a big shakeup, you know, new leadership, new management, and you know ownership and all that. So look no more. They have their guys, and that's going to be Mr. James Gunn and Peter Safran. They're going to be taking charge here. So they've both been tapped as co-chairman and co-CEOs of DC Studios, a newly created production entity that will oversee DC properties for Warner Brothers Discovery. Uh, they say we're honored to become the stewards of these DC characters we love since we were children. We look forward to collaborating with the most talented writers, directors, and actors in the world to create an integrated, multi-layered universe that still allows for the individual expression of artists involved. Our commitment to Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Harley Quinn, and the rest of the DC stable of characters is only equaled by our commitment to the wonder of human possibility these characters represent. We're excited to invigorate the theatrical experience around the world as we tell some of the biggest, most beautiful, and grandest stories ever told. We're especially enthusiastic about doing all this with Mike, Pam, Casey Channing, and the whole Warner Bros. Discovery team, and we're grateful to David Zaslav, whose bold vision for the future franchise we share allows us for this once in a lifetime opportunity. Most of all, we can't wait to bring you into the story of the DCU. So they will both be overseeing film, TV, and animation at DC Studios. They assume their roles literally tomorrow on November 1st is when they begin their new roles. And they will report to Warner Brothers Discovery President, CEO David Zaslav, and will work closely with Mike DeLuca and Pam Abdi, co-chairpersons of CEO and CEOs of Warner Brothers Film Group. And they're also both expected to continue work outside of their DC stuff. As we know, James Gunn does Marvel, so he's not gonna stop doing Marvel now, but he just has bigger responsibilities for DC now. Um so yeah, obviously James Gunn is no stranger to DC stuff. He's done the Suicide Squad and Peacemaker. And then Safran also has done DC stuff. He's produced Aquaman and as well as the Shazam sequel and the first Shazam. And yeah, so good good stuff I think. I think if you're going to get anybody, I think James Gunn is a pretty good
He's
person
the
to
one
get
that's had
for
success, right? Like he's the one
yeah.
that's really had success with and he's got a proven track record, right? Like he is somebody that they
Yeah.
know they can trust with these types of IP and stuff. So I think it's a good choice. And let's be real, it can't get much worse. So like,
No.
uh, um, but it gives you a little, it gives you hope. It gives you hope. Rebellions
Yeah,
are
no,
built on hope.
honestly,
You know,
as a
like
big as a big DC fan, I am very hopeful about this. I'm very excited about this. I love DC. I have always loved DC and I want them to do good. I want them to succeed. I want them to do great. Obviously, we know how good they are on the animation side of things and they have been for years. And in terms of live action movies, some are better than others, but for the most part, I've enjoyed, you know, stuff they've done, but the other stuff I'm like, "Well, why does this need to happen and why, you know?" Anyway, forget about all of that. we're in a new era now, and hopefully this is where things change for the better because yeah, I just want DC to succeed, man. Like I want eventually I want there to be a Justice League movie that's as good as, any of the Avengers movies or any of the Marvel shit that we've gotten. Like these are characters that should be having these incredible stories told and on and,
Hmm.
in film, and some have been great, but like I said, there's a lot that haven't.
Yeah.
So I yeah, again, if you're gonna get anybody, I think James Gunn's a good pick. Just yeah, as a DC fan, things are starting to look up finally. With obviously the Henry Cavill coming back as Superman is one of my most favorite things of this year so far. I can't wait, dude, because he should have never stopped being Superman. I don't know what the fuck they were thinking over there for years after, you know, they filmed Justice League, was it 6 years ago that they just decided not to do anything else with him for that long. Such a huge waste of time and missed opportunities and all that, but we don't wanna get into that because we could go on about a lot of missed opportunities that they've done.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, as we're sitting right now, things are looking up. We have Henry back, which we're gonna talk about Henry a little bit more later, but, him back as Superman is one of the best things that could happen. We're gonna be getting, all these other stories and characters and whatnot of that we want to see and that are yeah should be told and yeah I'm just extremely hopeful, man. I'm very
Yeah.
very excited, dude. Like I can't wait for DC to finally, hopefully we hope for them to get to where they should be.
Yeah. And like, here's the biggest reason I want them to succeed is like, don't get me wrong, I love Batman, I love Superman, but man, there's been a lot of them movies, and
Yeah,
Marvel is getting to the point where it's like, all right, you've seen Iron Man, now get ready for Iron Heart, right? You've seen
yeah.
um the Hulk, here's She-Hulk. I want DC to get to the point, okay, you've seen Batman, you've seen Superman, here's Booster Gold. Cause goddamn it, I want Booster Gold on screen. All
Josh
right?
wants Booster Gold. I'm excited for Blue Beetle. I can't wait for that. I'm glad
Yeah,
we're getting
Blue
that.
Beetle's gonna be great. They're kind of
Yeah,
digging into that, and I was sitting there
I
looking. I
can't
was like,
wait.
Blue Beetle's supposed to come next year. Does that mean we're gonna get a teaser for that
I
ish
hope so because they've
soon?
been working on that for a while now. So I
Because
hope so.
they'll
I
throw
can't wait.
teasers out like years ahead of a movie release. So I was
That's
like,
one
I
of my
wonder when we
most
get a teaser for that.
anticipated movies right there is Blue Beetle. I can't wait, man. We got
Mm-hmm.
our boy Cholo Maridueña playing Jamie Jaime too, so I that's gonna be good, man. Can't wait. No, but
So
yeah, dude,
yeah,
it's exciting for sure.
yeah, of course, and everybody should want them to succeed. Even if you're a Marvel guy, you should want it to succeed because it's fucking comic books. It's superheroes. It's a good time. Like there's an imaginary war among the fans. Fuck that shit. There is no war here. We're all fans of the same damn thing. Really, when you think about it, it's just two different styles. That's all.
Yeah,
And there's
I
some
love
styles you
both.
prefer, and some you
I
don't.
love both Marvel and DC, man. They're both good
Same,
stuff.
same. I want this to. I want it to do well because I love this stuff. I love superhero movies. I have good times with them, and I want more variety and more things I can enjoy. I want more reasons to go to the movies and spend my money on something good and not garbage. You know.
There you go.
So yeah, this gives me hope.
Moving on, we have a couple other DC news.
What else we got?
The Arkham Asylum HBO series is going to be having the Staircase creator Antonio Campos as the new showrunner. He will direct and serve as showrunner slash executive producer on the series. Should his version of the show go forward? Uh, Matt Reeves previously said that the originally planned Gotham PD series had kind of evolved into what is now the Arkham Asylum show. With an individual with knowledge in the situation says that the two are in fact completely separate and that the Gotham PD series remains in development. The Gotham PD show was originally announced in July of 2020. That time, the show was meant to be about the inner workings of the GCPD set within the same world as the Batman. But in November, uh, there was uh, news that the writer had left over creative differences, and then Joe Barton was brought on board, but then ultimately Warner Brothers decided to part ways with him as well. So, in other words, we kind of have a few shows on the Batman verse, the Matt Reeves, the Batman movie, Robert Pattinson Batman. We have a couple of spin-off shows in the works for that. One of them is Gotham PD, which who knows if that's still going forward because they've had multiple changes of, creative differences and people coming in and out and leaving and getting, all that. And then we have this Arkham Asylum one, which now has a new showrunner who also direct and produce. And then we have the Penguin one, which we know that one is kind of the most uh it's the one of the three so far that is the one that's definitely happening because they Colin Farrell was excited about the scripts and uh
That dude loves
we
playing Penguin.
also he does. And also we have some casting news for that as well. So that one is definitely happening. So uh speaking of which, let's move on to that casting news since we're talking about it. The Penguin sets Kristen Milioti as the female lead, Sophia Falcone or Falcone or however you want to say it. People say it different ways. You can say how you want to say it. So she's coming to the HBO Max opposite of Colin Farrell for the DC original limited drama series The Penguin. Uh the series expands upon the world Matt Reeves created for the movie, and obviously it's going to be based off of the Colin Farrell character, the Penguin. So Milioti will be playing Sophia Falcone, daughter of Carmine Falcone, who was played by John Turturro in the film. And Sophia is fighting with the Penguin for control of the city. So there you go, some bit of casting news uh, for that. In other HBO DC news, the Green Lantern series shifts its focus, and the showrunner is exiting, which makes sense if it's going to be shifting its focus. The showrunner probably creative differences, all that, which seems to happen a lot, with all these shows in development. So the Green Lantern series, which has been in development since 2019, is undergoing a creative overhaul. DC and Warner and HBO Max have decided they want to go in a different direction for the Green Lantern series, which has been in development since 2019. The focus will shift from Guy Gardner and Alan Scott and will now revolve around Jon Stewart, one of DC's first black superheroes and one of the longest serving Green Lanterns. Additionally, writer showrunner Seth Graham Smith has opted not to stay with the new project. But Berlanti Productions remains attached. So this show has been, like I said, in development since 2019 for a few years now. And it was originally going to be about Guy Gardner and Alan Scott, but now they're switching focus over to Jon Stewart. So what do you think, Josh? I already know what you're gonna say, but let the people know. What do you think of this news here?
I think it's good that they're switching over to Jon Stewart. That's my fucking, that's my guy. That's my lantern. Like, I know we've talked about that quite a bit, but like the Justice League animated series made me love Jon Stewart as Green Lantern. It was like the first interaction that I'd ever known Jon Stewart. So I think it's dope that it's a swap over to that. That's cool. Shit,
Yeah.
my guy. That's pretty dope. Um, But yeah,
Yeah, I think it also makes sense to go from those two guys to John Stewart. Like it's kind of it is kind of crazy. I think that since Justice League has been out, they haven't done anything live action with John Stewart. Considering we've have like all these other characters that they could have done or they have done, and like it isn't it kind of nuts that they still haven't done John Stewart. Like you would think that he is like nowadays. I would say he's like the biggest Green Lantern, right?
hmm?
Like you were saying with with Justice League and all that. Like he's your Green Lantern. Like, and I know that he is for a lot of other people, especially nowadays. Like there are so many Green Lanterns out there, but it's kind of surprising they haven't done anything with him yet. Like in live action. Um, So I think it was only a matter of time, and now to be honest with you, I'm a little, it's kind of like, damn, like they're barely doing it. Like you feel like it feels like they should have already done something, or they would have already done
Yes,
something,
I
but
agree.
they haven't. So I think it's overdue that they do something with John Stewart,
Absolutely, it is.
and yeah, it makes a whole lot of sense. I still think it would be cool to see Guy Gardner and Alan Scott in something else because again, if you're gonna make a Green Lantern series, you could still have them in this show anyway.
Yeah,
But if you're gonna make the main character be John Stewart, then hell yeah, do it. Let's make it happen. I actually really like the Green Lanterns and all the Lantern Corps and all the different ones that there are, like the red lanterns, the
hmm,
blue and the yellow and all that shit. So I think it's cool that we're getting, something Green Lantern because I think the Green Lanterns are a pretty cool character, like all of them. Like, just the ring and the Green Lantern's light and all that, the whole everything. I think it's all pretty cool. So and then, they got my color scheme. How could I not like them? They got the green and black, so
right.
so I definitely like the Green Lanterns, but yeah, I'm very curious what they're gonna do with this, now that we know that Jon Stewart's gonna be a main character, I'm super intrigued about who else is gonna be in it. Like I said, they could still throw in Guy Gardner and Alan Scott and Hal
Yeah,
Jordan and Kyle Rayner and, Kilowog and all those other guys, right? Like so I never watched the 2011 movie, so I don't the Ryan Reynolds one. I never watched that, so I don't know. Like I don't even know what's in that or what they do. All I've heard is that it's a piece of shit. So I never bothered to watch it. Um, there's like fart clouds or something in the movie. I don't know. I don't need to watch that. But I hope that they now under new leadership with James Gunn and Peter Safran that they're gonna you know hopefully make this into a better quality show. So yeah. Um, Next up, we have some Marvel news, a little bit of Marvel news. And that is that we are getting a Vision spin-off series from Marvel Studios starring Paul Bettany, which to me is kind of unexpected because I like I'm very curious where they're gonna take this character. Like where are we gonna be at? But let's go ahead and check this out, right? So this is gonna be the second WandaVision spinoff. Obviously, the first one is Agatha, the Agatha one, which I forget what the name of is it now because they've changed it a couple
yeah, they
times. But
changed it, didn't they? I don't know. Yeah,
House of Harkness, that's what it is.
that's
I was
it.
trying to remember if it was like anyway, I couldn't remember, but yeah, Agatha House of Harkness is the first spinoff. This is gonna be the second one. Titled Vision Quest. The potential series, which is opening a writer's room next week, will be about the Vision trying to regain his memory and humanity. Uh, while the focus is on the Vision, there is a possibility for Wanda Maximoff, Elizabeth Olsen to appear. Obviously, you know, how obviously that makes sense. Uh, so WandaVision is overseen by or Vision Quest is overseen by WandaVision creator, writer, and executive producer uh Jack Schaefer. Uh, the new spinoff is unofficially referred to by some as the White Vision Project after the most recent on-screen version of the character. Introduced in the end of episode 8 of WandaVision, White Vision was created by Sword by rebuilding and reactivating Vision's body and sent on a mission to destroy Wanda and her additional vision. Um, so so Bettany has been kind of, you know, a little not so open about reprising the role after WandaVision because to me it made sense for there to be like, all right, that's kind of a good point for that to to stop, right? Like it was a good culmination, but I felt like, but apparently they're gonna be moving forward with this, and yeah, I just we'll see, we'll see what phase this is gonna be a part of and all of that because no idea, man. No idea. But yeah, so the show is apparently gonna be called Vision Quest. So what do you think, Josh?
I think that I actually really hate the title Vision Quest for the name of the show. It's so corny. I don't like it. Um, so I kind of hope they look at that and change it. I'm not crazy over the title, but
Well, it wouldn't be the first time they changed it. Like I said, they
yeah,
changed the
exactly.
Agatha one.
I don't like Vision Quest as a title. It's super corny, which is fine. Hey, it's a comic thing. Comics are corny sometimes, but I I don't like it. It'll be interesting. Yeah, I wonder where it'll fit in with everything else. They when WandaVision ended, it kind of left a little bit of like, where did this character go, and what are they gonna do with him? And it's been kind of quiet, like So it's cool that they're gonna do something with him. Uh, yeah, I don't have a ton of thoughts on it to be honest. I thought eventually he might show up in like some other series that wasn't his own series. I wasn't expecting him to have his own series, but I guess he's getting his own series now.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't expecting either. I think, like, I guess people who know are more knowledgeable about the comics side of stuff would probably expect this, but for me, I was like, yeah, the end of him, what happened at the end of WandaVision seemed like a good culmination for me at least. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I really have no idea what to expect from this. So it's gonna be all new and interesting, I think, because I don't know what to expect.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't know shit about White Vision. I'll be honest, I didn't even know much about Vision when we first originally got Vision in a thing. So,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
uh
Um, cool. So that's news on Vision Quest.
we
Now
should
we
call
have
it
some more.
we should call it
What?
Vashon. Come on.
Vishan, bro. We have a Vishan of on this what to do on this show right here. Anyway, more Marvel. We have more Marvel news, and that is that uh Yahya Abdul Mateen II is going to be playing Wonder Man for Marvel over on Disney Plus. So Yahya Abdul Mateen II has been doing a lot of stuff recently. He already is on DC as Black Manta. He was also in the Candyman remake. Uh, so now it looks like he'll be playing the character Simon Williams, who is Wonder Man, the son of the industrialist Sanford Williams. Uh, so Wonder Man was first introduced in the Marvel Comics in 1964. In the Avengers #9 comic book created by Stan Lee, Don Heck, and Jack Kirby. So a little bit of backstory on his character for everyone out there is that again his name is Simon Williams, son of the industrialist Sanford Williams, and he assumes control of his munitions uh following his passing. Seeing its success limited when it comes into competition with Tony Stark's Stark Industries, the younger Williams gains ion-based superpowers, including super strength, while working under the villainous Baron Zemo and establishing himself as an antagonist to the Avengers. Although he later decides to become part of that same superhero team. So there you go. So live action Wonder Man series was first announced as entering development in June, with Shang-Chi Helmer Destin, Daniel Cretton, and Hawkeye co-producer Andrew Guest both announcing their involvement. Cretton will direct and executive produce, with guest starring or with guest serving as head writer. And this show will also see the return of Ben Kingsley's Trevor Slattery,
Uh-huh.
uh, the supervillain turned good guy who
That's
also
Morris.
was the fake man Mandarin. Yep, Morris. So yeah, there it is. We have our Wonder Man
I don't know
now.
shit about Wonder Man other than what you just read, so that's interesting. I find it interesting that Yaya is gonna be in this because he was also in the Watchmen show. The homie loves
Yeah,
comic stuff apparently. So
he's in a bunch of this type of stuff, man. Like I said, he's Black Manta over in DC for the
Mhm.
Aquaman stuff, and he was the new Candyman, and amongst other things, he was in Black Mirror, and yeah, man, he's doing a lot of stuff, man. He's a hot commodity right now, acting
apparently,
wise. So
pretty
pretty
soon he'll be
cool. I
John Stewart. And just put him in all the comic things, dude.
that is something we didn't talk about. Like who would you want to see as John Stewart?
I have no idea. I only said
Because
him because
like,
we popped him into the news for it right here, But I haven't really thought
yeah, but
about it
like,
too much.
but like I say, he's already Black Manta. But dude, now I'm kind of thinking about like who would be a good fucking John Stewart, because you kind of want like John Stewart, at least in the Justice League series, was kind of not really like a young dude, but he wasn't like super old either. He was what would you say? He was like in his 30s, 40s, maybe. John Stewart.
I don't even know because he ages, right? Like there's a point where he gets older,
Yeah,
and
I don't
it's
know. So I'm trying to think of like somebody that could play him, but I don't even know, dude. Like my first person that came to my mind was like John Boyega, but he's like too young, I feel like, to play John
yeah.
Stewart.
And I feel like Boyega needs like I feel like John Stewart has like a grizzled kind of feeling to him that Boyega
That
doesn't
Boyega
necessarily
doesn't.
have. I feel like
Yeah.
Yaya has it, right? Like, um, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know who you cast.
Yeah, it's a good question. We didn't even talk about it when we were talking about the Green Lantern stuff. I'm like, who would actually be a fucking like a good John Stewart? Like who would be a good one? Like I don't know, man. I'm off the top of my head. I don't know if I could
I can't think of anybody.
think of somebody, man. I was like,
Hmm.
who would be a good one? I don't know.
You might get lucky just find an unknown.
Yeah, could be. Could happen. Could happen.
What do we got next, bud?
All right. Next up, we have uh some 1923 news, which is the Yellowstone prequel. So Taylor Sheridan's Yellowstone prequel gets a premiere date on Paramount Plus. Uh so it will debut on Sunday, December 18th on Paramount Plus in the US and Canada, and will premiere on the following day, Monday, December 19th on Paramount Plus in the UK and Australia. Uh Dates for other international markets will be announced at a later date, but over here in the States, it's coming out on Sunday, December 18th. Uh Obviously, we're gonna have Harrison Ford in it, Helen Mirren, uh, bunch of other people, playing characters and the continued story and
Those two
prequel.
names alone is like, yeah, I'm gonna watch this. It's got
Yeah,
Harrison
right.
Ford and Helen Mirren, and I'm gonna check it out.
I mean, dude, I really want to finish fucking 19 or 1899 or what is it called? Fucking
I don't even
the
remember.
Western one.
Is it
I don't remember, but
1886? Maybe that's it.
the Western that we watched that's a prequel was really good. I only watched like 2 episodes of that. I really
1883.
want to
Damn it.
1883. So 1883 was fucking awesome. I really want to finish that, and then shit, we might even might even finish that, but before this comes out, and we can go straight into this other one, dude. Like fuck it.
We should definitely do that.
Then that would be cool because we go 1883, 1923, and then go move on to Yellowstone. So that'd be good. But yeah. Yeah, I mean, if this show is gonna be anywhere near as good as fucking what I've seen for 1883, then I'm all aboard, man. The cast already seems awesome, so I'm about it. I'm excited, and yeah, good stuff. We have another one of the big news pieces that dropped this week. Let's go ahead and talk about that. Uh, this is the big one. Had a lot of people talking. I know we have some thoughts on this, and that is that uh Henry Cavill is going to be exiting the Witcher series following season 3. So for season 4, he will be recast uh as Geralt of Rivia, and they're going to be replacing him with Liam Hemsworth. Uh so it's been renewed for a 4th season by Netflix. But Henry Cavill was like, "Thanks, but no thanks. I'm out. Peace. See ya." They revealed it on their social media, and Cavill also did it on his Instagram and whatnot. And the message that he said on Instagram was, "My journey as Geralt of Rivia has been filled with both monsters and adventures. And alas, I'll be laying down my medallion and my swords for season 4." Cavill said in a statement on Instagram. "In my stead, the fantastic Mr. Liam Hemsworth will be taking up the mantle of the White Wolf. As with the greatest of literary characters, I pass the torch with reverence for the time spent embodying Geralt uh, and enthusiasm to see Liam's take on this most fascinating and nuanced of men. Liam, good sir, this character has such a wonderful depth to him. Enjoy diving in and seeing what you can find." So, Josh, I don't think I've really talked to you about your thoughts on this, which is good because we can talk about it here now. So, what do you what have you to say? Because I'll talk about what I have to say after you
Um,
if you want. So go for
Man, I can't believe Netflix canceled The Witcher after season 3, huh? How weird.
it. Pretty much, huh?
Because I'll tell you right now, I'm not I'm not gonna fucking watch it once Cavill's gone. I'm sorry. Like to me, they have ruined that show. We've talked about it. Like they don't give a fuck about the source material, the game or the games, either one. Um, they made that abundantly clear with some of the choices they made and in season 2, and the fact that the news came out that they fucking mock both the books and the game. So,
Yep.
which to me is so fucking stupid because you obviously cannot do better than either one. That's how bad your writing is on this show, guys. So go mock something that is terrible than you are, not something that's actually 10 times better than you are, in my humble opinion.
Straight up. Straight up.
It is. Why would you even choose to make The Witcher if you want to tell your own story? If you want to tell your own story, go make your own television series. Don't grab on something with name recognition and then change a bunch of shit about it. And in fact, mock its original source material and its own video game, which are so much better than anything you've come up with fucking yet. Are you that arrogant and have that much fucking ego?
Not only are they doing that, but what they're doing is so much worse than what has like. So Josh and I. So Josh said what he had to say. I'll speak on it a little bit, so you can take a breather. if you guys have been watching our show, our podcast, you've been listening or watching to what we've, our episodes, know that over past couple years, whenever there has been a new season of The Witcher, we have done an episode on said, both season 1 and season 2, most recently season 2, obviously. Um and we have not been the biggest fans of the show. We literally say it in the podcast, like of the episode, that like there are definitely like for us, the show has not been anywhere near as good, or we have not enjoyed it anywhere near as much as other people have. So if you go watch, literally episode 100 is The Witcher season 2 for us for our podcast. If you go check out our playlist, find episode 100. You can hear our thoughts on The Witcher season 2. For us, we have not been the biggest fans of this show. Like I will say that for me, like I try not to compare it to the games, but it's really, really, really like tough for me to do that because the games are like so much fucking better than the show. Like the show, I thought season 2 was just like it was like kind of, I don't want to say barely watchable, but it was like it just did not grab my attention at all. There was a lot that well, and go watch, go listen to that podcast. Like I said, I don't want to repeat myself on that. Go listen to that. You can hear our thoughts. But for me, from the beginning, this show has never been like, I thought season 1 was fine, but then it's gotten like downhill from then on, and now it looks like it's getting even more downhill because for a show like this, where I wasn't like, the only thing that kind of kept me here was Henry himself because of how good
Mm-hmm.
he was as this character and in this show. For him to like now leave, first of all, makes so much sense to me because again, we've kind of talked about before how he doesn't really like, his one condition to continue doing this show for their full plan of 7 seasons was that they would honor the work of the author and continue to, and tell great stories and whatnot. And they've like, you know, a a former producer of the show said that the writers actively disliked the books and the games. Like I it just, it doesn't make sense to me. Much like Josh, like if you're gonna work on a show like this, that's The Witcher, which is, quite beloved, and a lot of people, are excited to see visions of uh the game or the books or whatever, and you don't even like stick to either one, and you just do your own fucking thing, and you make it worse than any of that. Like, I don't get that, dude. I don't get that at all. So honestly, to me, it makes a lot of sense for Henry to be like, "Fuck this shit, I'm out of here," because he doesn't like what they're doing with the show. A lot of other people, such as Josh and I, don't like what they're doing with the show, and he now he's returning to DC to play Superman. So I think the combination of both of these things, of him, taking a bigger responsibility with portraying Clark Kent and Superman again, combined with his dislike of how they've been managing the show and the character and the source material, is good enough reason for him to be like, "I'm out of here, dude," because this is just not what I thought it was gonna be, and you got people working on this show that just are not respecting the source material of either the games or the books. So for me, I see this as not a huge loss because, first of all, I didn't even like the show that much to begin with. So I would much rather, if this is the cost of Henry returning as Superman, I would kill this show 10 times out of 10 to have him back as Superman. Okay? I will tell you that right now. 10 times out of 10, there is not one time that I would rather have him stay on this crappy ass show than to have him come back as Superman. And no disrespect to Liam Hemsworth, but I'm gonna be a little disrespectful. I apologize, but you are a downgrade, sir. Uh, to Henry Cavill. I'm sorry. It's not your
He
fault. It's not
is.
your fault.
He
It's
is.
not your fault, Liam. I'm sorry. It's not your fault. I don't even mean to be that disrespectful. It's not your fault. But like, I just this is Netflix's fault, or the two showrunners, or whoever made this decision. It's their fault, and it's the fault of the people for not following the source material. That's whose fault it is.
Mm-hmm.
Because how do you like let it get to this point? Like, this show could have had so much potential, could have been so good, and yet here we are with Henry leaving after season 3, and then season 4 you get Liam Hemsworth coming in, and like how I don't know, dude. It's gonna be weird, dude. It's gonna be weird just being like season 3, and then season 4 they're gonna have him. You have Liam Hemsworth coming in and be like, is this the same guy? Is this? Oh, Gerald. Oh, it is the same guy. Oh, okay, cool. But much like you, Josh, I am also probably gonna check out season 3, and then that's it. I'm done with the show because, again, not even a big fan of the show to begin with. So for me, this isn't even a big like. I'm not like mad or sad or devastated like other people have seen on the internet. You know, which fair enough to those people. If you've enjoyed the show and you liked the stuff that they've shown, I mean, more power to you. I have not, so this to me is whatever. I don't, if it was a better show, I think it would be a bit a bit of a bummer for me, but since I haven't really been enjoying it as much, I don't really care, dude. So that's my thoughts on this.
Yeah.
Uh yeah.
My only other thing is
Yeah.
I don't want to help support creators that mock the original. Like you took this thing and are now going to mock it because you took it and are making your own thing with it. Like I don't want to support creators that do that. You should be respectful of the thing that gave you all the power to do this story, and you choose to laugh at it and mock it and make fun of it. Like
Yeah.
I don't want to help support you. I think you're pathetic and sad. That's what I think. So no, I'm not gonna help support it like that. Like Henry is the only thing that keep me watching the show because he's one of us. He's a nerd. So
He was
and he
by far
cared.
the best thing in the show, and now that he's
Mm-hmm.
leaving, it's like what else is there to keep us here? Like, at least that's the way I feel about it.
Exactly.
But
I'm the
anyway.
same. I am the same. I am also dropping frames. I don't know why. Sorry, guys. Um. All right. Yeah. Let's enough of the hate. Let's move on to something else. Cause like, let's just be real. Like, freedom to Henry. Uh, go make your stuff.
Freedom,
Cause fuck The
good
Witcher
news. Yeah.
show.
Good
Fuck The
stuff.
Witcher the show. The creators really. All right. Moving
Hola,
on.
Lucy.
Hi, Lucy.
Moving on. We have a Friday the 13th prequel series in the works at Peacock from Brian Fuller, and it's gonna be called Crystal Lake. Uh so just in time for Halloween, Peacock has announced that it has gone straight to series on Crystal Lake, a prequel drama based on the hit horror movie franchise Friday the 13th. So Brian Fuller, the creator behind such shows as American Gods and Star Trek Discovery, will write, showrun, and executive produce the series, which will be produced by A24, the studio known for buzzy movies such as Everything Everywhere All at Once and X Pearl, among other things. Uh, so it's not the first time that these movies have birthed a TV series. as well as novels and video games and a bunch of other things, in pop culture. So the IP rights were kind of in a bit of a tangle there as it moved from Paramount to New Line and became an 8-year long copyright dispute. Uh,
It even
and
killed the video
now,
game.
yep, and now it's over here at Peacock with Crystal Lake. So that seems to be the new thing that this IP is doing. So I know, Josh, that out of the both of us, you're definitely the bigger Friday the 13th guy here. I was always more of a Nightmare on Elm Street kind of. I was always more Freddy Krueger.
I loved
You're
all that
more
shit.
Jason
I love it
Voorhees,
all.
right? So what do you think of a prequel series, Crystal Lake?
Could be interesting. The A24 being attached just makes it a lot more interesting. Um,
Yeah,
but
A24
yeah,
is really good.
I think it'll be interesting to see what they do, and like it's funny that there's getting more of these like kind of horror things and turning them into TV show dealios series because like Chucky has a series. Um,
Yeah,
by all accounts, it actually seems to be really good. Um,
I
I
haven't seen
haven't
it, but I want to
watched
check
any
it
of
out.
it,
Yeah.
but from what I've heard, it seems to be good. Apparently, they curse on fucking on cable television. Apparently, um, because there were some. Everybody knows I'm a wrestling fan, right? Well, they had Liv Morgan. Always wanted to be in like something with Chucky. They put her in this TV show apparently,
Oh
and
wow.
some of the people that were watching it because I was just looking in like I was looking in the wrestling thread on Reddit because wrestling comes on, right? And like before that, I think Chucky was on. And they're like, hey, look, Morgan's in this. It's like, what the hell? They're using the F word in this show on TV? Like, what? Like, people were confused. So I've heard that's good. I'll check this out. Like, I haven't really watched a lot on the old Peacock, but yeah, apparently if you want to go to Crystal Lake, you can get it on the old Peacock.
There you go. That's where it's gonna be at.
So yeah,
All right, that is our TV news for this week.
that is the TV news.
So if you want to switch on gears over to the movie news, we only have a
We have
couple of things here.
switched
They're like
gears.
really, we'll be done with this like real quick because it's only like two things I got here. There wasn't a lot of movie news this week, so we'll be done with that here real soon. So when you're
All
ready,
right.
just let me know.
We're ready. Sorry, we are good to go. We have swapped.
All right. So the movie news, we're here. We're ready. First thing is that remember last week we talked about there being a new Star Wars movie in the works with Damon Lindelof. Uh so there is a secret writers room, and apparently this movie is going to be taking place after The Rise of Skywalker. So after the sequel, so it'll be in the future, not in the past as we have most other things. So Justin Britt Gibson is going to be writing the script with Lindelof, and they may potentially bring back some of the characters from the sequels in this. Who knows? Uh, Last week we talked about Charmin Obaid Chinoy, who directed 2 episodes of Miss Marvel, was going to be on board this as well. But this project has been in the works for months. Uh, they have a group of writers working on this story, this movie. Uh, Lindelof, Justin Britt Gibson, they're going to be writing this one here, like I said. Um, and obviously they're going to have other people present, like Dave Filoni, who was apparently present in these writer room meetings and whatnot. Uh, and they apparently started getting this writer room together after Star Wars Celebration, where they held a 2-week session in July, where Patrick Somerville worked on uh, a few things with Lindelof, such as Leftovers and then Station 11. Raina McClendon, a consulting producer on the Obi-Wan Kenobi series and writer on the company's upcoming Willow series. Andy Greenwald, creator of the 2019 Rosario Dawson crime drama Briar Patch, among a couple other writers, were there. Dave Filoni, obviously, very knowledgeable on Star Wars, is there to probably just to answer any questions they have of like, things Star Wars related. Um, Sources say that this movie project is intended as a standalone, but its success could lead to other movies. Uh, that plan goes against the grain of earlier Lucasfilm production or development processes, which saw the company try to come up with trilogies. Now the studio seems to focus on standalones. And they also say the story would take place after the events of 2019's The Rise of Skywalker, although it would not be a continuation of the Skywalker saga. So, although in other words, for people out there listening and wondering, this is going to be timeline wise after the sequels, but it's not focusing on anybody or it's not focusing as a continuation of the Skywalker saga. It's gonna, as this article says, it's more of a one-off or not really a one-off, but it's a standalone. So if it does well, they can do more, but that's not their intention going into it, right? Which that was kind of some of their mistakes in the past, right? They've tried to like, and not just for Star Wars, but for other, you know,
Hmm.
franchises. They've like remember Power Rangers who try to make like fucking how many movies of those? Like 7 or I don't know how many they try to do. That's just a number I made up. I don't know how many they wanted to do, but
I have no idea.
remember they want to do a bunch and they only did one. Like I think it's good when you focus on making one movie and make that one movie good and then go from there.
Yeah, we've talked about this before. Like
Unless you have
everything's got to be a franchise and a billion sequels, right? We've
yeah,
talked about it.
yeah. Unless you're doing like a trilogy, which you have to plan out already from the beginning. Then if you're just if you're doing the one movie kind of deal, just focus on that, make it good. If it does well, then you go from there. But that seems to be the plan though. So after the sequels, after the Rise of Skywalker, not a continuation of the Skywalker saga. However, some of the characters from the sequels could appear, which would make sense. And honestly, I would like to see some of the characters from those movies return. But yeah, we there's been a lot of Star Wars movie news lately. Obviously, with Patty Jenkins' Rogue Squadron, kind of put off into the back burner, which is disappointing. But we still have Kevin Feige's movie. Who knows when that's coming out? Taika Waititi's doing his movie, and we don't. And that's the thing. We have all these movies, and we don't know like jack shit about like any of these, man. So we shall see. But what do you think about this particular movie? The news that we've gotten on this one, Josh.
I think it's cool. It's good to start hearing about more Star Wars movies happening. We've it's been quiet for a while, right? Like we've gotten
Yeah,
video game and television newses and stuff, but not a whole lot on any movies. Which, as much as I love the video game and television parts, I love going to the movies and seeing the opening crawl. I remember when Force Awakens fucking released, and I went to the movies and I
yeah,
saw the opening crawl, and it just fucking hit me right, like. And I remember the feelings of going to see, Rogue One on the in the big screens and seeing that goddamn them hammerheads show up, and I about lost my goddamn mind on the big screen,
yeah.
and got chills and wanted to cry. That's how happy I was to see those on the big screen. So it's cool to be
It's
hearing
nothing
about
like it, man.
movies again, like and hearing the fucking theme and all that and with the fucking blasting sound. Like, come on, man. Like, I love the movies. Now the sequel series wasn't, definitely not my favorite. Got a lot of hangups with it. We talked about it in Discord a billion times. Um, and I'm fine with like a time jump. I'm fine with getting away from some of those old characters if they want to. If they were gonna bring in back anybody, I'd be like, bring back Chewbacca. All right, bring back Chewbacca. Like, cause
Bring
it
back
makes
Chewie.
sense. Think about it. Like, he can live
I
a
mean,
very long time.
he could go on for he could still go on. He's
He
still
can
pretty
live for a
young.
very long time.
Chewie's
And
still pretty young. Yeah,
Chewie's kind of spoilers. He's kind of lost everybody a little bit that he was kind of connected to. So, let him help mentor a new group of heroes. I'm fine with that. Like, and I'm fine with some of the old characters showing up as long as it's not to right the wrongs of the sequels. Like, hey guys, remember how you wanted Finn and Poe to have the ultimate romance? In
oh
the
hell no.
sequels. I mean, what if they did that in this movie and they showed up for a camp? I wouldn't like that because it's like, here you're going to like, we're gonna right the wrongs of these old movies in this new movie. I don't want that. I want the story to be focused on the new characters, the new heroes. I'm glad they're kind of getting away from the Skywalker thing. Like, I love those old characters, and I love the Skywalkers and the Solos and the Calrissians and all those characters from the old series. But Star Wars is a huge galaxy, and we're just focused on a tiny little part of it. And I want to see the rest of the galaxy. Open my eyes to the rest of the galaxy. All right, that's what I want out of a new movie. I don't know if you feel the kind of same. I know you said you're okay with some characters coming back. If
Yeah,
they
I'm
do
okay with
come
some
back,
characters coming
I
back.
don't want them to do it just to fix old mistakes that they made. I would hate
No,
that.
I mean, well, they did that for the Rise of Skywalker, right? They're like, all right,
Mhm.
we don't like Episode 8, so we're gonna do our own thing and make it a sequel to Episode 7, which then just turns everything into one giant mess. Uh, and we've talked about a lot on here how much how we feel about the sequel trilogy. So I don't want to really get too into that, but there are some things that do like from the sequels, and if I were to continue that story from there, I would want to see Ray and Finn continuing the Jedi and hair training him and getting a new like you know academy and all that shit and actually get to see like Jedi again, not just oh here's another thing and oh it's gonna go down again because we're just gonna repeat the same bullshit over and over again, but like actually rebuild the Jedi like for good this time, like none of this other repeat bullshit that we've seen in the past of them, you know, getting betrayed by a Skywalker and them going down and fucking all that other nonsense that we've seen in the past and and yeah, I just like I have some ideas of where it could go of what they could do, but if they're gonna like what you said, if they're just gonna bring in like Poe and Finn for like a stupid cameo that makes no goddamn sense, I'd rather those characters not even be involved at all if they're just gonna do that.
That's what I'm
It needs
afraid
to
of when they say
they
bringing
need to
back old
be
characters.
well, it's they could well the thing is like they could, but they don't necessarily have to be, Um
Yeah.
But honestly, yeah, I mean, if they're gonna do that, then I'd rather them just focus on completely new characters anyway. Um,
Mm.
but like I said, I don't mind if they bring back certain ones depending on what stories are told. It just depends on what's gonna be told. But hey, I'd be fine with a brand new like what does the galaxy look like after episode 9? Like, because obviously, like one of the big things I think is the Emperor is defeated again, right? But like
Until the opening crawl of this one says
how
Palpatine returned
somehow
again.
again, this
That's
old
what I was
crusty
laughing
ass
about. I was like, oh
raisin
god.
fucking skin old bastard is older than shit and he's still alive. No. Uh we don't really know what the galaxy looks like after that because yes, Palpatine's dead, hopefully for real this time, which I don't even think he should have ever came back in the first place, but that's a whole
Nope.
other topic.
That's a whole other thing. Yeah.
He he's dead now, hopefully for real. And then like the first you would assume that the first order is going to be still around, right? Cuz like or the final order, whatever the hell they're called now. Because we saw some star destroyers and shit go down at the end of that movie. But like there's still got to be like pockets of first order, final order dudes out there somewhere. Like kind of, it's the same shit again with the Empire. Like you destroy the Death Star and you kill Palpatine supposedly, but there's still pockets of Imperials out there, you know. So it's got to be the same fucking thing all over again. Like there's still gonna be pockets of First Order somewhere out there, even though they have no leadership. Probably gonna try to, it's the same fucking shit over and over again. That's why
It it
it
really
just
depends
I
on how far in
fucking
the future we
man.
go. Like I don't know how far they're
That's
talking.
true. That also is true. They could go like 100 years into the future, which wouldn't that be nuts if they go like that far
Yeah.
into the future?
The only thing that makes me think it wouldn't be that is like because there's like we might bring back some other characters, but like
Yeah.
it could easily be aliens that live very long times, right? So like that doesn't
Yeah.
mean so
Yeah.
that's kind of what I would rather they did because I would like a little time jump. Let's get some space from that old thing and do our own thing, type of deal.
Yeah.
I'd be fine with that.
I'm just the biggest question for me is what does the galaxy look like at that point?
Mm-hmm.
Like what like wherever they're going in the future, what does that look like? You know? So that's the biggest question for me. What does it look like? Who are we gonna have involved? What's the story we're telling here? Anyway, we won't find out about this for a while, I assume. So it's all just speculation at this point. We can move on though to the last piece of movie news we have here, which is Venom 3 has a new director to direct the Tom Hardy movie. Kelly Marcel is set to direct Venom 3. Um so Kelly Marcel has previously worked on such things as uh she's primarily known as a writer is what she's really known as. She's acted in a few things as well, but she's primarily a writer. So she's written stuff like uh the previous two Venom movies, Saving Mr. Banks, Cruella, and 50 Shades of Grey. It's kind of stuff she's worked on. Now she's gonna be making the jump to the director's chair uh for the third one. Uh she's also going to be writing with Tom Hardy for this next one and produce uh so she's gonna be doing a lot of duties. She's gonna be writing, producing, and directing this next movie. Uh and plot details are kind of unknown right now, but and we don't know what is gonna be going on in the third. I haven't even seen I to be honest, I haven't even seen the second movie yet. I probably
I haven't
should
either.
just to see what's going on with that because I know it connects to the MCU in some ways. Um, so I should probably check it out just for that. But yeah, I haven't seen the second one yet. But working on the third one for the Venom universe, and the first two movies are directed by Ruben Fleischer, and now Ruben Fleischer directed the first one, Andy Serkis did the second one, but Marcel is going to be doing the third one, and she's been there since the beginning because, like I said, she wrote the other ones. So, uh, shall see where it goes. But that is all news we have for this week. Uh, yeah, that's
All
gonna
right,
do it for a
guys.
week for the news.
We will take a break, get up, stretch the legs, go to the restroom, get drinks if you need to. We'll be right back after this. We'll be diving into Tales of the Jedi, and we'll spend some time on that. So we'll be right back after this. Don't go anywhere. Be right back.
Be right back.
All right, everybody, we are back. Happy Halloween to you if you're joining us for the first time. I hope you're all having fun. We're all dressed up. We got our costumes on. I gotta put my hood up. I put my hood
Happy
up.
Halloween, everyone.
Happy
Hope you
Halloween.
all have been having. There you go. Hope you've all been having a good spooky weekend or good Halloween day as well.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah, it's good stuff. We are now in the second part of of this episode,
we are.
and obviously, if you clicked on the title of this, you know what it is. We're doing Star Wars Tales of the Jedi. Gonna be talking about all 6 episodes of this series as of right now, because I definitely hope they do more in the future, and I want them to do more episodes, and I want them to be longer. But that's a whole other, you know. We're here to talk about what we do have right now, which is the first 6 episodes, and we're just gonna talk about if
All right.
we what we thought. We're gonna share our thoughts as we always do with everything. So let's
Yeah.
go ahead and do that. Let me put these glasses back on because you guys got another look without him on. So there you go. You're welcome. Anyway, so Star Wars, Tales of the Jedi. We're big Star Wars fans around here. If you know if you know us, you know that. If you're new watching this, welcome. We are big fans of Tales of the Jedi and or Star Wars, and I guess I just gave away that I'm a big fan of Tales of the Jedi. So I definitely liked it. I really enjoyed it. Josh, did you like Tales of the Jedi?
I loved it. I thought it was great. We're gonna get into why I thought it was great as well when we get to
Okay.
talking about it. So, um,
Excellent, excellent. I loved it as well. I thought it was fantastic. My I'll tell you right now, the biggest complaints that I had is that they're too short and it's only 6. That's it. Because I want more. Although when we get to some other certain episodes, I'll get into what we think for sure. But
hmm
yeah, so there was 6 of them. They were all under 20 minutes long. Uh we focused on 2 Jedi, 3 episodes each. We have Ahsoka Tano was one, and then we have Dooku as the other. So we follow them throughout various stages of their lives. And yeah. So first episode, we'll just get into it right away, is called Life and Death. Um I saw this episode back in May at Star Wars Celebration. I was at the Tales of the Jedi panel. You can go check out the um Star Wars Celebration episode that we did earlier this year back in May. When I went to that, I have pictures and videos and all that stuff
we
of
did a
my
podcast
experience.
episode on it.
Yeah,
Really, when we
yeah,
went through
so
the photos and looked at it, it was awesome.
yeah, I forget which number it was, but you look at the playlist and you'll find it. It's Star Wars Celebration Anaheim 2022. It was fantastic. I love going to Celebration when I can, and yeah, it was a good time. But anyway, so I saw this episode at the panel because Filoni showed it to us. Yeah, there was Janina Gavankar on stage who was voicing Ahsoka's mother, Pav T. She was on stage with Dave, and Amy Radcliffe was the host. And they were talking about the show, and I was super excited. And they showed us the trailer, and I was hype. And then they were like, "Yo, you guys want to see the first episode?" And who the fuck is gonna say no to that? So we watched the first episode, and my thoughts on the first one are remain the same as when I watched it back then. So I watched it again when they all came out, and then as so my thoughts are the same now as they were then. That this is a pretty it's cool seeing like where she comes from and where like you know who her mother is and who her like her tribe and all that, right? I We assume that this is the Togruta homeworld of Sheely, but it could be a colony on some other planet somewhere, right? We don't really get the answer to that. But it was pretty dope seeing uh first of all, the animation is fucking gorgeous, dude. The animation is so beautiful. It's the best it's ever been. Like since Clone Wars season 7, the animation for Lucasfilm has been top tier. Bad Batch was good. Clone Wars season 7 was great. Fucking now this fantastic, incredible. It gets better and better. So that was beautiful, everything, the lighting and just all of it was so good. Um yeah, so it was cool seeing all those you know Pavti and baby Ahsoka and her dad and the old like elder woman that was in the village or tribe or whatever and just seeing the planet. It's like there's like a lot of pine trees and giant fucking yellow saber-toothed tiger, thing. And yeah, overall, I think it was fine. Like it was just like this is the moment where they knew that Ahsoka was force sensitive because the older elder lady was like, Ahsoka is Jedi. She's a Jedi. So from then on, they knew she was force sensitive. Um, and that's basically the story is that first episode is, you know, Ahsoka, the discovery of her being force sensitive is there. And Josh is playing the trailer. Yeah, you can see, stuff from all of the episodes. Um,
Yeah, I thought it'd be cool to play the
and
trailer while you talked about it.
yeah, so yeah, there's the yellow saber tooth and baby Ahsoka. She like kind of connects with the saber tooth, with the force and then yeah, I mean that's pretty much the majority of the first episode. Obviously her mother takes her hunting as well, and she kind of like the episode is called Life and Death. So, Ahsoka's born and the mother's like, yo, you need to face death because it's, a natural part of life. And some people might say that's a little fucked up to teach a baby that, but hey, man, Star Wars, dude, there's a lot of shit they do in Star Wars we don't do in our real life, so you can't really compare
Yeah,
the two,
and
really.
everybody's
But
cultures are different.
yeah,
Outside of our culture, I'm sure people look in and are like, man, that's fucking weird, but they do it, and it's the same when we look at other
yeah,
cultures as well. So, and
exactly.
this is Star Wars,
So
a world, a
yeah,
universe, a galaxy, even full of other
yeah,
cultures.
exactly. Um, so yeah, that's basically the gist of that episode, though. We get to see the birth of Ahsoka, and then like time passes, and she's like a year old or whatever, and then her mom takes her hunting, and then we get the whole she's force sensitive, the discovery of her, right? So that's pretty cool. Again, I thought feel the same way about it as when I first saw it. It was pretty cool, pretty neat just seeing that. Nothing too special, but it was just, cool seeing her early
It's a
life.
good
Um,
introductory episode of what this show is going to be.
yeah. Um, but yeah, that's really all I got to say about the first one. I don't know if you guys want to add in anything onto that.
I don't really have a lot. It is cool to see the all the Togruta and how they interact with each other, and you kind of get a little bit of their culture, not a whole lot of it, but I always like learning new things
Yeah.
in Star Wars or things I hadn't seen on screen, but maybe seen in comics and stuff. So it was cool. They made baby Ahsoka adorable. It's like you just want to pinch your
Oh,
cheekies
yeah. I
and be
mean,
like, I
that's
want to pinch your cheeks.
all
So
the babies, right? They got to be cute.
it's like look at your baby. You want chubby cheeks, you know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Now, this next episode is where things get interesting for me because these next three all in a row, my favorite, the best
Yep,
stuff in my
I'm the
opinion,
same
right here.
actually.
These next three. So the episode 2 is called Justice, and this one is we start off at some point years before Phantom Menace. We have uh young Qui-Gon Jinn and young younger Count Dooku because Dooku's still a grown ass man in this episode, but we see that he has like black hair, no facial hair at all, no beard, no nothing. Both him and Qui Gon both clean, baby faced, basically. Uh, and they're going to this planet to rescue a son of a senator. They land, we see them, we don't even know why they're there initially, but they enter like a cantina or like a bar or a tavern or something like that. And there's a bunch of people. Dooku's like, "Where's the senator's son?" And they reveal the village elders like, "Yo, you don't really know the senator. He's a shady motherfucker." And it's revealed that the whole town decided to kidnap the son because of the you know terrible conditions of the planet. The senator has not been really aiding his people, and surprisingly, the son is completely understanding of the whole situation. He's like, "Well, shit, I didn't realize it was this bad. No wonder, they kidnapped me because my dad's been treating them like shit, right?" So he's definitely understanding. And then the villagers or the people there, village are kind of like uh talking to Qui. They're having a conversation with Qui Gon and Dooku, and they're like trying to figure out what's going on, why this happened, and all that. And then fucking they're alerted that the senator has arrived with like his own like militia or whatever, and he's like, "Yo, I want my son. Like, you better bring him to me now, because you know I'm not leaving here without my son." And then the people come out. They have a little bit of a conversation. Dooku has talks with the senator, um, Senator Dagonet, and then the senator is like, "Yo, you serve the Senate," and Dooku's like, "The fuck we do? We serve the people of the Republic, my guy. You got this all. You got me fucked up," saying something like that. So there's a bit of there's the disagreement there, and then the senator is like, "Yo, I will destroy this place, bro. You better bring back my son." And then they don't. They start shooting the Jedi. Dooku and Qui Gon pull out their sabers. They start blocking and defending the villagers. A lot of the villagers end up dying, and yeah, the village elders like. Well, first of all, the village elder before all of this takes place. I forgot to mention that she thinks that they Qui Gon and Dooku brought the senator here, and Dooku's like, no, he's here. We didn't even know he
Mhm.
was gonna be here. Like
They had
we're
no
just here on our
knowledge
own.
of our mission,
Yeah,
yeah, or whatever.
yeah, because they were doing
The
their own
movie thing.
investigation.
Hmm.
So he's like, no, he has no idea. And then the fight ensues, and then kind of Dooku kind of is like, this is the point where Dooku starts getting sick of the Jedi and the Republic and all of that shit because he's like, this is some corrupt ass shit going on. I'm sick of the senator thinking he's above, everybody. And he starts force choking the shit out of this guy. And then you're like, whoa, this is cool, dude. Like this is where Dooku's like, this is it. This is where it starts, right?
His first step,
Yeah, his first
toward the dark
plunge
side.
into darkness. So he starts force choking the dude. Qui-Gon's like, no, like stop it, bro. And he force pushes Qui-Gon back. Qui-Gon's like, well, shit, I need to go get the sun out because otherwise this shit's gonna get real ugly or uglier than it already is real fast. So he like frees the senator's son and he's like, yo, dude, go save your dad, man. Because my master's gonna fucking kill him if you don't go out there. Um, and yeah, all the meanwhile, Dooku's blocking shots, force choking the shit out of this dude. Senator's son goes and gets in the way. He's like, stop. And Qui-Gon's like, yo, Dooku, master, chill. It's over. That's it. And he kind of calms down. You can kind of see the look on his face. He's all angry, and he's like, whoa. He kind of like snaps out of it. And he goes back to normal. But yeah, it was pretty great. Just seeing the relationship between Qui-Gon and Dooku is something we've heard about, right? Because even in episode 2, when Obi-Wan and Dooku meet, he's like, "Oh, I wish Qui-Gon was still here." You
Hmm.
know, Dooku was always, you know, like I think his friendship with Qui-Gon and that relationship that they had was like a genuine like good one.
Hmm.
Like they
Yeah.
they were pals, they were friends, they were you know the role of master and apprentice for years, right? And then that's why Obi Wan's like, oh, he would, Qui Gon Jinn would never join you, and it just brings up interesting questions like what the hell, like what would Qui Gon do if he was still alive after that? Like if Qui Gon made it to the Clone Wars, what would he have done? Like what like because he was always more of a I don't want to say gray Jedi because that's not a like you know thing, but he was more of like always testing the council and like doing his own kind of thing, really. And we
Boundaries.
saw that in Phantom Menace. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, we see it all the time in different like storytelling. Is like he's the kind of he pushes back on the system. His belief
yeah,
cycle's a little bit different than what everybody else has kind of gotten, not necessarily lazy, but have gotten comfortable with. Right? He's that
yeah.
type of character. And
And he,
these episodes, these 3 episodes with Dooku is like really helps establish like gets you on Dooku's side a bit in these episodes, you know, like all
it
right,
it
I
makes you
see it.
understand his fall a little bit more, right? Like you're
Mm-hmm.
like, oh wow, I can, So yeah, it makes me wonder like what Qui-Gon would have done because he even Obi-Wan tells him like, yo, you'd be on the council if you weren't always fucking like going against the council's wishes and stuff. So yeah, it was really cool seeing the relationship between Qui-Gon and Dooku though. Like it's something I've wanted to see for years, since we've known about those characters and it's really cool to finally see it. And another cool thing about this episode is that Liam Neeson's real life son, uh Michael Richardson or Mikhail or yeah, he ends up voicing Qui-Gon in this episode. So you have Liam Neeson's real life son voicing Qui-Gon in this episode, which is something that they told us back in Celebration too. I remember Filoni saying that. But yeah, it was cool. It's just a cool little thing. Like they didn't need to do that, but it was cool, right? Like you got his real life son voicing Qui-Gon. Um but yeah, you got Corey Burton reprising his role as Dooku from Clone Wars to voice Dooku in this as well. Just a younger version of that character, you know. And I thought they did pretty great. But yeah, that's basically the second episode, which I thought was so well done,
Oh yeah,
and
it's
it's
great.
like quite a bit of time. Like it's like I would say this is in High Republic era. This episode, like it's not quite like as far back, but like it's still back enough where it's like we're still in the High Republic era. You
I'll
know?
be honest, I wasn't even thinking about that when I watched it. I was so focused on I wasn't even thinking about eras necessarily as the
Yeah, no,
episodes
I
watched.
I
I was
get
so
you.
sucked in,
I get you.
I didn't
Cause
even
yeah,
think
the
about it.
the
But yeah,
because
you're right.
the story is so good, but no, yeah, like this episode technically is in the High Republic era, so very very cool. Um, but yeah, that's episode 2, which I really enjoyed. Then we have episode 3, which is called Choices. Uh, and this one we get Dooku again. He's a little bit older now. He's traveling with Mace Windu, and they're going to a planet to recover called Raxus Secundus to pick up the body of a fallen uh Jedi master of the High Council who was killed here, murdered. And at this point, Dooku or Mace, neither of them are council members or anything at all. Obviously, we know that Mace eventually does become a member of the High Council as he is in the movies, but in this, he's not. Um, and they're kind of equals at this point, right? Like Dooku and Mace, they're kind of like on
Mm-hmm.
the same playing level here. And yeah, they're going to try to find the body. Mace is very by the book, following the rules kind of thing. Which Dooku is always like, yo, that's sometimes inspiring, but sometimes maddening the way you are, Mace. And so Mace is just trying to pick up the body, go back to Coruscant, and Dooku's like, nah, man, we need to conduct a full investigation. So he's like pressing the senator there, uh, that like, yo, where were you guys attacked? Where's the site? And all the meanwhile, you were kind of suspecting something sus is going on because with the guards and the senator themselves. And there's more to it because Mace can also, by the time he gets him talking, he can tell that, yeah, they're being a little sus about some things. So, uh, They go out to the site where it all happened. They look around the vicinity and see that, yo, this is not adding up here. So they start pressing the senator for answers. The senator panics and is like, the guards killed her. After they notice that, wait a minute, there's some scorch marks on the tree. There's no damage on the ship. The shot must have came from the direction of the ship. And so the senator again was like, yo, the guards killed her. And so the guards just fucking gun his ass down right then and there. And down he goes. And then, dude, when Mace and Dooku pull out their sabers, they pull off some dope shit, like blocking all those shots and like Dooku does like this cool ass like twirl block that he like turn around twirl block from one of the shots. It's really cool, man. The
Mhm.
animation for that like whole fight, scene is awesome. Um, yeah, we just get to see two of the greatest, saber swordsmen like just go ham on some, on some like assassin droids. I think they were like HK droids, maybe. I'm not exactly sure what kind of droids they were, but they pop out of nowhere and they defend themselves against the guards as well. And anyway, eventually they defeat all of them, and then they like start pressing and questioning the two like main guards, and they're like, "Yo, you guys are lapdogs of the Republic or of the Senate because all you do is take care of the wealthy people, and you don't give a shit about any of us down here and these other the rest of us." And, you can kinda see Dooku being like, "Hmm," again, right? He's like, "Hmm, like, this is, uh this is not good. Like, you guys kinda have a point here." And Mace is still like, obviously very much so by the book and with the Jedi still, and whereas Dooku's, like, questioning everything. So they ask him about, like, "Yo, why did you kill the Jedi? Why did you not kill the senator right away?" And they're like, "Yo, we wanna install him as our puppet basically and do what we want him to do because he's been
Mhm.
kinda not, because he hasn't been."
He's been selling us off piece
And
by piece, man. Oh, okay.
yeah.
We need to get some of that back.
And then at the end of the episode is where Dooku kinda talks to the other guy and he's like, "Well, I don't really condone your actions, but, you kinda got the right idea there. You're just going about it the wrong way," kinda basically is what he's telling him. And, yeah, it's again, just seeing him, like, fall further and further, right? Like, more and more, like, with each
It's
episode, you just kinda
it's great too because in this episode we see like blind loyalty to something rewards Mace Windu, right? Like
yeah.
he's blindly loyal in some ways to the Jedi, and that rewards him with a seat on the
Be
council, right? Whereas
Yep,
for Dooku,
yep,
like he questions everything, investigates things, maybe goes a little bit too far, but ultimately his heart's in the right place. I feel in this episode,
yeah,
like he wants to invest. Wouldn't you want somebody to investigate your death? Like, and yeah, I'm on Dooku's side. Like if I in this episode, I am 100% on his side, all the way up to near the end, where it's like, like it's hard not to be because we know that blindly following, any organization is wrong. It can be wrong and lead to
yeah,
catastrophic consequences, which is what eventually happens to the Jedi in the main movies, right? So like
yeah,
I,
yeah.
you see it here, like, and you can even feel it a little bit at the end when Dooku's like, "Were you aware that you were gonna get the seat on the council before this mission or whatever?" You know
Yeah.
those lines, and I
Which on
find
that,
it
I
cool to show
actually
that.
no, it was great to show that, but I actually believe Mace. I don't think he had any idea that that was gonna happen.
No,
He's just like,
I believe Mace too.
yeah, because he's like, "Yo, I was on the mission with you." Like, what do you mean, But you're right though. Like Mace throughout the entire episode from start to finish by the book, when Dooku asks him, "Wouldn't you want somebody to investigate your death?" He's like, "No, I'd want them to follow protocol." You're like, "Okay, well, that's Mace Windu." But Dooku, yeah, he's very like, "We got to get to the bottom of this. We got to figure out what happened." And even when he like talks to him about like getting promoted, he's like, "Oh, Mace is like, "Oh, I'll put in a good word for you, whatever." He's like, and I love Dooku's like sassy ass response. He's like, "Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you, Master Jedi." Like, like so, like just again, like I love seeing the relationship between those two guys in this episode almost as much as I enjoyed seeing Qui-Gon and Dooku in the episode before. So it was really really cool just seeing that, like just seeing these guys that in the Clone Wars and in the movies we know as enemies. Because even if you remember, even in Attack of the Clones, at the very beginning of the movie, when when they're talking about Count Dooku, Mace Windu's like, "Oh, it couldn't be Dooku. He was a former Jedi. Like he's a I think the word they use is like he's a political idealist, not a murderer, right?"
Hmm.
So they're like even up until Attack of the Clones, they still like didn't even believe that Dooku could do this type of shit. Um, but as we know, they're very wrong. Um, because in the next episode, which is by far the best one in my opinion,
Hmm.
like this episode is like to me one of the greatest Star Wars animated episodes ever. Like this is it's called The Sith Lord and it's so fucking good. Episode 4 is so good. It is legit top tier Star Wars right here. Um from start to finish, like so we start off the episode with Dooku. I think at this point Dooku isn't a Jedi. Like he kind of goes away from the council because I think it's explained in one of the novels or one of the audio dramas or something like that. I think it's called Dooku Jedi Lost. I haven't read it, so I don't know really, but at some point Dooku leaves the Jedi, but he's still welcome in the temple as like a, because they're on friendly terms, right? So he can come and
Hmm.
go as he pleases
You can
because
come hang out
he
in your
still
old haunts.
he's yeah, yeah, he's like you can go hang out at your old camp, your old grounds, right? Your old stomping grounds. So he's there chilling. He can still chill there with them. So, like I said, at this point, I think he's no longer a Jedi, but he's still welcome in the temple. So he goes to the temple and we see him go to the archives. And as soon as he does this, I know immediately what we're about to see. And I get excited
Hmm.
because this is something that we've speculated about for years. And we pretty much knew it was him, but we've never seen it. And we finally got to see it. So he's over here deleting Camino from the archives, which is something that happens that we find out about in episode 2, again in Attack of the Clones. And just to finally see him do it, like uh using like not like my Sifo Diaz is like, whatever he uses, like thing that he uses to infiltrate the archives with or to enter the archives with, because obviously he's not using his own. Um, so by this point, he's had Sifo Dyas killed, and he's entering the archives, deleting Camino. So obviously, we know that by this point, Sifo Dyas is dead. The clone army is under, being, you know, produced or getting started, and that above all of that, Dooku is already friendly with Sidious. He's friendly with Palpatine in that way. So after he does that, kind of talks to Jocasta Nu, and he's like, "Yo, what's all the commotion? What's going on?" And she's like, "Yo, it's your apprentice, Qui-Gon." He's like, "Qui-Gon? What happened?" Oh, this his imagination must be running wild because even though we haven't seen a Sith in a generation or whatever the fuck, like 1,000 years, he claims to have seen one he claims to have seen a Sith Lord on Tatooine, and obviously we know that Dooku knows. And Jocasta Nu continues with her like very like I hate her attitude.
Oh yeah,
She's so
dude.
like she's so dismissive all the
You
time.
know Qui-Gon. He always has an overactive
Yeah, he has a he,
imagination or whatever
yeah, he's like
mind.
much like you, Dooku. You both had a wild like imagination. I'm like this bitch, dude. Like she does this every time. I hate her. People give Mace Windu shit. I fucking her. She sucks, dude. I hate Jocasta Nu, man. Old Jedi. I never thought I'd feel this way about an old ass lady, but she sucks, dude. Jocasta Nu is the worst. She's the
But
worst prequel Jedi.
she's part of what's wrong, right? Like
Yeah, straight up.
she embodies everything that's wrong, which is the arrogance of the Jedi. We can't be the archives are never wrong and all that kind of.
Yeah, the archives are complete. What do you mean? They're exactly. We see her do that
It's
in
like
episode 2,
it's
and
like, what
Attack
do
of
you
the Clones
mean?
rather.
Well, how can you say that?
So
Like
confident and so arrogant and
that
just
kind of
yeah.
arrogance pisses you off, you know?
Yeah.
It's like a problem.
It pisses me off and I'm not even a character in the fucking like,
Yeah.
she's annoying. I'm like anyway. But so yeah, that happens and then later we see Qui-Gon who's voiced by Liam Neeson this time
Yeah.
show up. So we know I mean, we knew after the fact that Jocasta told him that she found a Sith on Tatooine that this was taking place during the Phantom Menace,
Hmm.
which is so cool. Like getting to see this angle of this movie in this way. This is after. This is during the movie. It takes place during and after the movie. I think. I think after because I think the end is after. But anyway, it takes place during Phantom Menace. It's the same timeline as Episode 1. And we have Yaddle talking to Qui-Gon, which, by the way, Yaddle, voiced by Bryce Dallas Howard, I think she did a fantastic job in this episode. She killed it.
Hmm.
Um, Also, Yaddle does not talk like a psycho like Yoda does. Yoda, I don't. He just talks that way for some other reason. Maybe I don't know. Maybe we'll get that explained at some point. But he. So we know that for sure now that all of Yoda's species, which are still unnamed, do not all talk that way. Which means that eventually, whenever Grogu starts talking, he's not gonna have to start talking like Yoda. He can talk normally like Yaddle. But anyway, Yaddle, which we only see in the movies in Phantom Menace, and then she disappears after that. Well, now we know why in this episode. But anyway, we see her talking to Qui-Gon, who's voiced by Liam Neeson. And oh man, it's so good hearing Liam Neeson voice Qui-Gon, dude. Like it's like it's like such a feel good like thing. I don't know why. Like I just love hearing Liam Neeson come back to do Qui-Gon, man. It was good seeing him do it in the Obi-Wan series. And it was good. It's good hearing him in this again. Um, but he's talking to Yaddle, and obviously at this point, this is when they come back to Coruscant after discovering Anakin, and they bring him over to Coruscant to talk to the council for it and all that stuff. And then we have a little after they have the little talk there with Dooku, Yaddle, and Qui Gon. There's a bit of a time jump till after the Battle of Naboo, where Qui Gon's dead, and Dooku's like just reminiscing, looking at the tree, and he's like, "I used to bring that Coruscanti born boy here when he was younger, which we find out that Qui-Gon was born on Coruscant. That might have been already like revealed to us in a book somewhere, but it was definitely we heard it and saw it in any animation or movies anywhere. Like we heard it and for the first time. So that was cool. But yeah, just Yaddle talking to Duke, being like, do you want to come to his funeral? We're about to go to Naboo. And he's like, nah, I wouldn't be good company there, because he had that attachment to Qui-Gon, right? Like one of the big
Hmm.
things about the Jedi is like attachments and all that stuff. And obviously he was attached to his, Padawan because he tells Yaddle, like, how quickly they grow up, our apprentices. So yeah, it's a bit of a bummer episode from that point on. Um But yeah, they leave. Dooku goes to the works to meet up with Sidious, and the scheming begins, or not begins, but continues at this point because they talk about like Dooku's like first of all he's like not he's furious at Palpatine. He's like, dude, what the fuck, man? Like you allowed Maul to kill Qui Gon. Like he could have
You've gone
been.
too far.
Yeah, you've gone too far. Like that was my homie, dude. Like that was my boy. How you gonna let Maul kill him like that? And then City is just like responds like, "Yo, I lost an apprentice. You lost an apprentice. Like you
It
need to
could have been
chill
a
out, dude."
powerful
Like,
ally.
and he's like, "To you," because Sidious, for as long as he has, well, this is just a general Sith trait is that they're always like questioning the loyalty of their students because of the eventual goal of a Sith apprentice is to overkill and overtake their master, right?
Mhm.
So obviously, as the master and the schemer of this grand plan, Sidious is like always going to be questioning his apprentices, and that doesn't change for anybody, much less Dooku. And then they talk about some of the secret shit they're planning, and he's like, "Yo, dude, if you're gonna be in this with me for the long haul, like I'm gonna require more from you, like not just that." Because Dooku's like, "Oh, so many people have suffered and so much has happened because of me." Sidious is like, "Yo, dude, I'm gonna need you to do more if our plan is gonna work." And so Yaddle is in the all the meantime in the background, just like you know, eavesdropping on this conversation because she followed him to the works, and she's like, "Nah, dude, this ends here." Which obviously it does end there, but not for them. It ends for her because there is nobody that knows this secret that stays alive. So they could because it couldn't possibly happen. Like this is during Phantom Menace. Like nobody knows besides you know a handful of people about those the whole Sith grand plan that's going on. And yeah, I knew this was gonna happen anyway because in the trailer that they showed us at Celebration, we see, I think in the trailer that they showed publicly as well, they show you like Yaddle dueling Dooku. So it's like, all right, well, you know what happens to her now. Um, but yeah, they have a bit of a fight, and it's pretty cool, like seeing that fight. Like I think it probably helps Dooku fight Yoda in Attack of the Clones later because it's
Mhm.
kind of the same. You're fighting another.
One of my favorite moments in this episode is like Dooku's like, "I'm afraid," and she's like, "I know you are. Afraid it's too
Yeah,
late." Like that's
yeah. He's
such
like,
a
I'm
good like
afraid it's too late. Yeah, that was
because
so good.
the first time he says I'm afraid, it's like, yeah, I believe he's afraid, but now he's got no choice. I'm afraid it's too late for that now. Like he follows
Yeah,
up, and it's like she's like, I am on your side. I gave up my seat, and like it's like my heart's breaking for this character that
it's it's
you know,
actually insane how much they make you feel for Yaddle
uh
in
huh,
in one episode, right? Like in one short ass episode, like they make you feel bad for Yaddle, dude. And credit goes to like the writing and Bryce
mm-hmm.
and Corey Burton as Dooku. By the way, I didn't even mention Ian McDermott voices fucking Sidious in this again. And
Yeah,
it and listen, I love Sam Witwer as Palpatine. He does well, does a good job. But there's nothing like getting the real man himself, bro. Like Ian
mm-hmm.
McDermott is that dude, man. Like the inflection, the tone, everything about his voice and the way he says things. When Yaddle's like, "Come back to me, like everything you've done, like we can fix it." He's like, "Don't believe her," just little shit like that makes like such a difference, dude. Like, man, Ian McDermott is so good. And yeah, and obviously, yeah, Dooku's lost his connection to the Jedi, to the light side already, obviously, because he's been doing all this shady shit in the meantime. But so they fight and they lightsaber duel and they talk throughout it like you said, like, I'm afraid it's too late. And Yaddle's trying to convince him that it's not too late, that they can kind of salvage, they can bring Sidious to justice and whatever. But the most badass moment in this entire episode comes from Yaddle. It's
Mm-hmm.
when they're dueling, Dooku pushes her to the fucking door and like he flips the switch and the door, like it looks like it's like kills her with the door, and you're like, God damn, did they just kill Yaddle that way?
Yeah, I know.
And
I
then
was shocked. I was
You're
like,
like, God damn,
fuck.
that's brutal. But the most badass moment is when she lifts the door and you hear the Force theme playing in the background. I almost had chills, bro. Like hearing that theme and it's Jedi doing Jedi shit, dude. Like lifting the door with the Force and like hearing the theme in the back. Oh, dude, that was the most hype, the most badass. You know she's gonna die anyway, and you know she's not making it out. But for that brief moment, Yaddle was a badass.
If you're gonna
Was
die,
it?
right? It's a D&D thing we talk about. If your character's gonna die and you're the DM and you know their character's gonna die, let them have a fucking badass moment as they go, dog.
Hell yeah, dude.
And that's it right there.
Dun, 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 dun. She lifts up the door. Oh, dude, just I can just see it already, man. And then, of course, after she does it, though, she basically uses all her remaining strength after that, and then just kind of tumbles onto the ground. And at that point, she's defeated because, like, what else is she gonna do? Dooku's like, "Let me help you find peace," and then strikes her down for real. Um, and
Yeah,
that's
that's
it.
and that was
That's
colder than her getting crushed by the door. Like getting crushed by the door would have been would have been shocking, but Dooku fucking just giving her peace
yeah.
in pieces is like also like you got to see it because it's like there's the fall, like he's falling. There it is,
Yeah,
the
like this is it.
culmination
Like
of it. Like
he
this is it.
has officially gone too far at this point. Like there
Mm-hmm.
is, like you said, I'm afraid it's too late. Like that, like this, that's it, dude. Like there's
Mm-hmm.
no turning back. Um,
But yeah, they did so good
yeah,
establishing like a character that may not be well known to most people out there, right? And like in a short episode, making you care for that character, wanting that character to succeed, even though you know she's not going to. Like you know she's gonna die,
yeah,
but still can't help but be like, man, I'm bummed. You know, like it's so
yeah,
cool. It's great
absolutely.
writing, fantastic writing, and acting, and everything, whole combination.
Yeah, it was again to me the best episode of the six. It was
Yeah, it's
absolutely
my favorite episode
phenomenal.
as well.
It's the type of shit I want to see more of. It was just it's too good, man. It's just top. It's top tier Star Wars, dude. It's like this is the type of shit where I wish they would kind of do more of. And like I said my biggest complaint about this is that they are too few episodes and they were too short. I would, dude. If they had made a spin-off series just off Dooku and we got to see his fall over like several seasons or whatever, oh man, I could have had an entire series of this. Like it was so good, so fantastic. I loved it. I love watching this
I
Dooku
like how
episode.
anthologies are kind of making their way back. Isn't that funny?
Yeah,
when
yeah,
we talk about it earlier, it's pretty cool.
yeah. But yeah, that was episode 4. Then we have episodes 5 and 6, which are both Ahsoka episodes as well. But we're gonna talk about 5 first. Practice makes perfect. So this is basically Ahsoka's training throughout the Clone Wars. Uh, and it's basically like they could have fit this in the Clone Wars at any point, and it would have like fit in well.
Hmm.
So it starts off with like really short haired Anakin and mullet one Kenobi because he still has the episode 2 mullet on, and bunch of Jedi. Little Caleb Doom and his master Depa Balaba are sitting in the background watching Ahsoka train. And it's like an official like Jedi training exercise. Like they're all spectating, and she's fighting like training remotes and stuff. And you know, she does fine or whatever. But Anakin is kind of like whatever. It's basic shit. Like you know, they both he and her want her to do more, right? Because that's just the way Anakin is, and Ahsoka being the student of Anakin's is gonna want to go to that next level. So
Your training is
they
good,
kind
but it can
of
be better. You know?
Yeah, so they talk about that, and he is like, "Yo, if you wanna do more than this, come meet me over here. We're gonna train with the clones, basically." The 501st basically helps train Ahsoka, and that training is what helps her survive Order 66, essentially.
Yeah.
Uh, what we see in the season 7 of Clone Wars, which we see also at the end of this episode, with the flash forward of, Rex escorting her through the hangar as they're about to, go into that episode of or that portion of that episode of season 7. And yeah, it's just, it was a fine episode. Like, to me,
Hmm.
this one, like, it was cool, like, seeing that the the fill in the blanks of that, but, like, it wasn't, like, something I needed. Like, this episode to me felt like more for, the kids that grew up with the Clone Wars, you know? Like, this is their
Yeah.
episode. Uh, like, if you're a Clone Wars person, this is for you, you know? And which is not to say that I'm not a Clone Wars person because I love the Clone Wars, but, like, it was fine. Like, I didn't need this episode, but it was still cool seeing it, like, you know? And what I thought was pretty neat is, like, again, seeing, like, super short-haired Anakin and, like, you know, mullet Wan, Obi-Wan with the mullet and that kinda and little Caleb Doom again and all that. It was cool, but, ultimately not really, like, necessary, but it was just cool to see. It was cool to witness. So yeah, that's kinda how I felt about that one, but yeah, it's basically you get to see her training through multiple phases of the war. When she has in the beginning, when she has her one single bladed saber, and then when she switches to two, and then obviously at the end when she needs it to save her life. So that's pretty much, uh, you know, but that's kind of the gist of this episode. So again, I thought it was fine, but nothing super crazy. Um,
Yeah.
and then obviously we have the final finale, just resolve. Which I think of the 3 Ahsoka episodes, this is probably my favorite and the best one.
Yep. I agree.
Um, so this one, I will also say it has a little bit of, like, controversy with it, and what I mean by that is this episode was adapted from the Ahsoka novel, and there's been some changes to it that people who have read the novel are not too happy about. Which is not the first thing that something has been changed because, um, I recently read the Kanan Jet the Lost the Kanan Padawan comics,
Mm-hmm.
and, those tell the story of Kanan surviving Order 66 much differently than the way it goes down in the first episode of The Bad Batch. So in the first episode of The Bad Batch, we see little Caleb Doom and Depa Balaba with, I believe, Commander Gray, who is also in the comic. But in the comic, we have Commander Gray and Captain Styles, who are like the two, main captain dudes, that are with Depa Balaba and Caleb Doom. But so I recently read the comics, and it's so much different how it is from that to the Bad Batch. Like, honestly, it was like it was cool seeing Caleb in the Bad Batch in animation again, like as a little kid, little Padawan. But it was totally unnecessary. Like, he didn't need to be there because in the comics, the way that that story is told is, in my opinion, better than the way they did it in the show. Like, the way they did it in the show is they kind of like shoved the Bad Batch into that when they didn't even need to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Because in the comics, they're not in there at all. It's just like Commander Gray, Captain Styles, Depa Balaba, and Caleb Doom. And there's other differences like in that are not as important, but still like you're kind of like, well, what's the canon here? Like you're starting to like erase canon with this, where it's like in the comic, Depa had a green lightsaber. In the show, she had a blue. The look of the planet and the scenery and the battle was different, even though we don't get to see a whole lot of it in the show. Anyway, the whole point I'm trying to say is the way they do certain things in animation or live action isn't always better than what they do in the comics or books. So I think people are upset, and I think rightfully so with certain things. Some things are not
Mhm.
as bad. Like I will say that some things that they get retconned are kind of like whatever. You don't, it's not that big of a deal. But I think for other things, it matters a bit more. Um, and like I said, for the Bad Batch stuff with Caleb, I think that was completely unnecessary, and they didn't need to do that. But it was really cool. But that takes me back to how it relates to this episode, Resolve and Tales of the Jedi. So they adapted this episode from the novel Ahsoka, and apparently I haven't read it, so I don't really know. I can't really go too deep into detail on what they changed and what the differences were. But apparently there was some characters that were changed from the novel to animation, and so much so that they don't even use the names of these characters. And I think are supposed to look different, and like they're like supposed to be the same characters, but in the animation, in Tales of the Jedi, they're like not. They don't really like mention them, but they're supposed to be the same characters, but they're supposed to look different in the novel. I don't know. Anyway, there's some contradicting stuff, and people are kind of upset about like kind of the retcon of that kind of thing. So again, I haven't really read it, so I don't know too much about what it is, but I think at some point they're gonna have to Filoni or somebody's gonna have to be like, well, there is like they're gonna have to have some kind of explanation as to like why they keep like just retconning shit like that when originally they said that everything, no matter what it is, the movies, the comics, the shows, is supposed to be one continued canon, right? Like, they're gonna have to explain why they like retcon some certain shit because there's a reason that they have the Lucasfilm story group so that so that they wouldn't have to like you know just retcon shit so that everything has a continuity, right? Like, so everything is
Mhm.
continuous. Like they have this group of people like Pablo Hidalgo and Leland Chi and all these other people. They're there to like prevent that from happening. But yet here we are, where like comics and novels are getting retconned in favor of the shows, and it's like, well, that makes I mean, it makes more sense because more people are gonna watch the show than read the comics or the books. But at the same time, how do you want people to keep reading that shit if you're just gonna keep retconning it? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like like
Yeah.
like what's the balance here? Like you have a story group so that this shit doesn't happen, but it keeps happening. Like and if you don't like if you know eventually you're gonna tell these stories in the future a different way, then stop putting them in books or comics. Like, you know what I mean? Anyway, that's just my little bit on that. We can dive into the episode now. I just wanted to bring that up because I know that eventually somebody might bring it up if we didn't talk about it. So I just wanted to bring that up briefly. I know probably Josh, you had no idea about that,
Ah,
but
didn't even realize it because I hadn't read the
yeah,
book
no.
really, and I had
Yeah,
no clue.
so yeah, again, I haven't read it either, but I do know that that's a thing that's happened. It's been talked about and discussed and all that. So yeah, again, I haven't read it, so I don't know the exact details. So apologies for that, but I do know that it's a thing. However, in terms of the episode itself, we open up on Naboo, Padme's funeral. We have Mon Mothma, Bail Organa, and Ahsoka is there somehow. Somehow she got there. Um, which I think is both kind of cool, but also at the same time, like, does she really have to be everywhere? It's kind of how I feel about it. Like, it's cool that she was there because she was Padme's friend, like she mentions, but it's like, man, I feel like also like part of me feels like they're trying to put her in everything just to have her in everything, you know?
That's fair.
Like,
I think
oh,
that's fair.
she was in the background of this, but we just didn't see her. It's like, oh, really? Like, just gonna put her in everything. But again, I don't really have that big of an issue with it because I think it is cool that she would be at Padme's funeral, you know? But,
Mhm.
anyway, she talks with Bale after the funeral, and he's like, "What the hell are you doing here? Like, you can't be here." She's like, "I'm kinda I'm out of the fight. Like, I'm done fighting, you know? I just got the 3 years of the Clone Wars, and like this is we have an empire now. Like what's going on here? And he's trying to convince her to like stay with the fight, but she doesn't want to, and and then they get stopped by shock troopers, clones, and Bale is kind of like talking to her through the troopers, like the responses he's given the clones, which I thought was kind of cool. Um, but anyway, yeah, it is cool seeing how she went from like you know being a survivor of Order 66 to becoming Fulcrum for real. Um, but yeah, she kind of leaves and goes off on another planet, uh, and she goes under the name of Ashla, which is interesting in multiple ways because originally when they were developing the Clone Wars, that was one of the names that they were gonna give Ahsoka was gonna be Ashla. Like that was like one of the potential names they were gonna give her. And it's also interesting because it's one of the names uh of you know the Force. Like there's the Ashla and the Bogan is what they are referred to as. So you have one side and the other, right? So you have the light side, which is the Ashla, and then the dark side, which is the Bogan. And also, Josh, I don't know if you knew this or not either, but uh, the moons of Tython from like the old Republic and all that, like one of them was called also Ashla and Bogan. So those names come up in multiple instances throughout, like Star Wars. So it's
Hmm.
pretty neat in that regard. But anyway, uh, so yeah, she's on another planet laying low, goes by the name Ashla, not really trying to show off her Jedi abilities, but you have these villagers trying to, you know, talk to Ahsoka, and then like they get into trouble, and like I think something's falling on you. I think it's the brother, right? And then she kind of like stops it with the Force, but then she gets noticed, and then the sister's like, "Yo, I see you, Jedi." Like she's like, "No, you shouldn't be saying that. Like the hell are you doing?" And eventually, the brother kind of turns her in and calls in the Empire, and they bring in an Inquisitor. Which, by the way, this Inquisitor looks fucking badass, dude. Like ever since I saw him like in the trailer back at Celebration, I was like, this dude he has such a cool look to him. He is like one of the cooler looking like Inquisitors by far. Um, and I'm not exactly sure which Inquisitor. Yeah, there he is. Look at him. He looks badass. I'm not exactly sure which one this guy's supposed to be. What brother he's supposed to be, but he looks cool. And of course, he's got the Imperial cape and cloak on. He's got the double bladed Inquisitor saber. Um, and yeah, we don't really. He's kind of. He doesn't really. We don't get to know which one he is. But anyway, uh, he kind of like starts questioning the local villagers and is like, "Yo, where's the Jedi? I thought you said there was a Jedi here." And he's like, and then the brother's like, There is. There definitely is." And the Inquisitor, who's voiced by Clancy Brown, by the way. I don't know if you guys knew that, but
Who we
Clancy Brown
love.
voices the Inquisitor.
Love
Yeah,
Clancy.
Clancy's great. Uh,
The Kurgan.
so he's like, about to kill, I think, the brother or whatever, and Ahsoka pops up like, nope, there is a Jedi here. She like does some Force stuff and pushes him out, out of the way. And then like in one of the more badass things Ahsoka has ever done, ever. Like Ahsoka has done a lot of badass shit in her day, but this was like easily one of the most dopest shit she's ever done. she like the Inquisitors come in to attack her, and she like y- does like this move where she takes his own double bladed saber. It's like does this like spin, like I don't like this move on him where like she takes his own saber and he kills him with it, and it is
Mhm.
like so it is like it's so cool, man. It's such a badass moment, and she didn't have to bust out her saber. She killed this dude using his own weapon. Like this dude ain't shit. He looks cool, but he ain't shit, dude.
Compared to
Like
her, he isn't. Like
no.
she is a hardened veteran of the Clone
Of the
Wars, my
Clone
friend.
Wars, yeah. Fully
Like,
trained, not only a fully trained Jedi, but she was trained by Anakin. So, she's
hmm
gonna be some business. Um, so that was fucking awesome to see. Like she didn't have to bust out her saber. She was like, "I'll kill you with your own weapon, dude." And then what I thought was really interesting is that when he died, and like his, because she like decapitates him, right? Like she cuts off his head.
yep,
When you see the head float down, it kind of like deflates like a balloon or something. I'm like, what the fuck?
yeah.
Like, what the hell's going on? I'm like, it makes me wonder what species or what what type of alien or humanoid or whatever the fuck this guy is, because we
hmm
can't really tell. We don't really know. He just has a cool looking face or mask or whatever that is. It almost kind of reminds me of like a plague doctor mask.
I'll tell you this though, man. That Inquisitor was full of hot air.
Oh my god, he was.
He
Yes, he
was. Yeah,
was.
he was.
We need the
I don't
the
I
drum.
don't have it.
Dum-ba-dum,
I was sit-
dum-ba-dum.
I was sitting here thinking, oh, I don't have that sound effect.
Shit, I do, but you guys can't hear it.
I got the
Anyway,
air horns. Yeah.
anyway,
Okay. Continue on. I didn't mean to
so
derail us.
no, you're good. But yeah, and that's pretty much like it, right? Like she talks to Bale again, and she becomes Fulcrum. Like she becomes, uh, um, friend of the rebellion from that point on with Bale and all that. So, and that's how basically the Tales of the Jedi ends. So, um, pretty decent ending to it.
hmm
But yeah, so I enjoyed all six. Definitely the Dooku episodes more than the Ahsoka ones. Absolutely for me.
I'm the
Episode 4, the
same.
Sith Lord being the best one, in my opinion.
I'm the same.
Uh, I think a lot of people feel the same way. I think episode 4 was like I think as far as I've seen, the unanimous like best episode, like easily. It just adds so much to Star Wars, man. Like it's so fucking good.
hmm
But anyway, they were all good. I enjoyed the Dooku ones more than the Ahsoka ones. But yeah, I really hope we get a season 2. I really hope that we get more than 6 episodes and that they're longer. And this is the part where I ask you, Josh, for a season 2 of Tales of the Jedi, what are some Jedi you would like to see them focus on? Because
Um.
I'll go first. I'll go first to give you some
Okay.
time if you want. If you want to think about
Yeah.
it.
Go right ahead. Go right
For
ahead.
me, then you can think about it. I'll go for me. I would like them to focus on lesser known Jedi that did not get to shine or did not get as much screen time in the movies or in the Clone Wars or any stuff like that, right? So like for me, or even like how we mentioned in the news earlier about the new Star Wars movie gonna be having, or it's gonna be taking place after the Rise of Skywalker or whatever.
hmm
If they did an episode or a few episodes on like Rey training Finn, that'd be dope. I love that. Just bring back Daisy Ridley and John Boyega to do the voices and be badass. That's one way you could do it. Um, but yeah, I would love to see like maybe like a Plo Koon episode, Ayla Sakura, like Kiadi Mundi, like a lot of those prequel, like Kid Fisto, a lot of those prequel Jedi that like are in the background, but you don't really get to spend a whole lot of time with them.
hmm
Like, or even, oh man, you know, if they did this, dude, honestly, I don't even want them to do this because I would want them to make it its own series, but like Revan, Bastila, like, going back to KOTOR era, like Vandar Tokar and all those other Jedi and like, Jolie Bindo, like, dude, how did Jolie become a shady like old man? Like not shady, but like jaded is what I'm looking for. Like how did Jolie become a jaded old man on the fucking Shadowlands of
No, I
Kashyyyk,
got
right?
you. I got you, and I wanna raise you, DT. I wanna tell you
Okay.
something. All right, we
Yeah.
got Tales of the Jedi, right?
Yes.
Tales of the Sith, Tales of the Bounty Hunter,
Mm,
Tales of the
of
Smuggler,
course.
Tales of the
Yeah,
Old
absolutely.
Republic. You know,
Yeah,
like
if
that's
you
that's
go
what I'm
about it that
talking
way,
about.
yeah, I mean, obviously this could spin off a bunch of different shows that I would love to see. Obviously, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I'm with you. I would love to see all of that. I would love to see all of that. Like Tales of the Sith would be incredible. Tales of the Mandalorians would be fantastic. You could do like Jaster Muriel and Montross and fucking the Tor Vizsla
Tales of the Terrascasi, okay, right? Like it's just a martial
Tales of the
arts short.
Terrascasi. Let's go.
It's just fighting tournaments everywhere.
Yeah. But in terms of
um,
Tales of the Jedi, though, yeah, those is what I would like to see. I would even like for them to do like the OG Tales of the Jedi, like the old comics Tales of the Jedi, like Yulia Kildroma, Exar Kun, all that kind
oh
of
hell
stuff.
yeah, dude.
That is what if I would like to see that.
Yeah.
Before we knew what this show was, when it was like there was rumors of Tales of the Jedi being announced, like I thought maybe, I mean, I wasn't sure if that's what they would do, but I was kind of hoping that's kind of what they would do. So if eventually they go back to those characters, I would love that personally. I like those characters like Nomi Sunrider and Yulik Kildroma and K Kildroma and Exar Kun and Freedon Nad and all that old ancient shit. But
Yeah.
anyway, there's the potential for this show is they could do a lot. They could do a lot with it. And I would like for them to do a lot with it. Starting with giving us more episodes and making them longer. But hey man, if they just focus on different characters and different stories, I'll be happy as well. But yeah, so that's kind of what I would like to see. I would even like fucking bring back Kyle Katarn, dude, do a tale on him or two,
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Luke and his academy or just so much you could do. Luke training Leia, because we saw that in the Rise of Skywalker for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Like do that. That'd be cool.
The series has
Uh
all the potential in the world, right? Like
it
especially with
does.
like
It could
spin-offs.
go on. It could go on forever. It really
Yeah,
could.
it really could. You actually stole the Jedi. I was gonna say I want more Plo Koon. I was gonna be like,
Ah,
I was literally gonna say that, and you were like, wait, I'll give you a minute to think on it, and then you said it. And I was like, damn it, he stole the one I was gonna pick.
I'm sorry, man. I was just thinking like because what led me to Plo was the fact that Plo Koon was the one that discovered Ahsoka, and we had
Mm-hmm.
Ahsoka in this. So like, would be cool if like we saw the episode where he
I
where he
like Plo.
discovered
He's
her.
cool.
Yeah, Plo Koon's cool, man. Like, yeah, dude. Like, I just all the
Also,
prequel Jedi that we didn't get a lot of shine would be cool.
we need Tales of Shaggy.
Yeah, dude. Bring back Shaggy. Bring back fucking
you
Foul
could you could
Madama.
bring
Bring
back all
back
those other little
Bulith
secondary
Mon.
Jedi characters, right?
Yeah, dude.
Like,
Yeah, dude.
from the shorts.
That is a perfect way to bring back some of the
Absolutely.
3D Clone Wars stuff into canon. Yeah, you can bring back Shaggy, you could bring back Vulith Mon, you could bring back Fal Madama, you could bring back fucking I was thinking of somebody that I had in my head and I blanked out. Um fuck, who did I have in my head? God damn it. Um shit, I blanked out, dude. I had somebody and then I just
Yeah, there's a
cracked
lot to
out.
be fair. It's
Yeah,
very easy.
there is a lot you could do. Um Yeah, that'd be incredible, man. There's so much they could do.
You know
Like,
what Tales is? Tales of the Jedi, or just the Tales of series, is just like it's us playing tabletop RPG Star Wars. If you think
oh,
about
I
it,
remember who I was thinking of. Yariel Poof, bro. Bring back Yariel
yeah.
Poof. It'd be great. Anyway, nah, yeah, you could even do like Zet Jakasa, who's the little Jedi kid in Attack of the Clones, and Revenge of the Sith, who was played by George Lucas's real life son, Jet Lucas. Remember the little kid
Yeah,
that is like when Bale is like leaving the temple and he's like, "Sorry, so you got to leave," and he like just pops up and like kills like fucking 5 clones before going out. Like, do a little tale on that kid, man. Like, there's so much you could do, man. So much you could do, and it fucking give us more Yaddle, dude. She was great. We only
Yeah.
got her for one episode. Bring him back. Eve
Hell,
Koth,
more
Agent
Mace
Kolar, like
even. Yeah.
yeah. Oh, dude, more man, Mace in his youth. Give us a young
That would be
Yoda, dude.
cool.
That'd be cool.
Seeing young Mace would be really cool actually. Seeing him like I would
Yeah,
like to see him like I want to see how he is as a Padawan and like then becomes a
yeah.
Jedi Knight and then like
Which is interesting
all of
because
that.
I read, you know how we've had Marvel Unlimited,
Mhm.
you know, for the past month or so. I read the Mace Windu comics where they show him as like a Padawan and he has like a little bit of hair and you see who his master is and all that. That would be cool to see, like in an animated form. So I'd be all for that if they want to do that. Young Yoda and his master or his or her master, whoever that is would be cool. Uh, more Dooku, maybe Yoda training Dooku. He's a young, just get to see young Dooku would be cool. Like, oh, I could go on, dude. I have so many like
I know we could be
we
here all
the
night.
we really could, but we'll probably end it here though because you could go on forever. We've been going on for quite a bit. We went through all 6 episodes. Overall, I love it.
I do
Josh,
too. I
there
love
you
it.
go.
I want more of it. You
Absolutely.
know.
That is Tales of the Jedi. Thank you guys for watching and listening. It was a fantastic this is a fantastic set of Star Wars right here. Um and
Hmm.
yeah, I really loved it. I really did. I want
Me too.
more and I want yeah,
I want more, and I
I'll be
want
waiting.
spin-offs. I want all of
Absolutely,
it.
yeah. Yeah, give us Tales of the Sith, Tales of the I mean, obviously they'll probably name them something different, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You know what we mean. We're same difference. But yeah, that'll do it. So thank you guys for
Yeah.
for
Thank you
watching
guys.
and hanging out and all that good stuff. This is our final episode of October because again it's Halloween. So happy Halloween
It
again
is.
to all
Happy
of you.
Halloween, guys.
You guys will probably be watching this or listening to this on the other platforms on in November. So happy November to you all as well. And yeah, we'll be back next week with the first episode of November. We'll be doing another D&D world building episode.
Which
So
is good. I got some things I want to
that's
talk
gonna be
about.
fun.
I actually have a bit of a
That's gonna
plan
be
this time
fun.
going in a
Hey,
little bit.
hey, that's
Or
gonna be fun then.
at least a new tool set I want to talk about next time. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that'll be
I mean,
cool.
it's fun every time, but it's gonna be
Hmm.
it'll be cool. So
All
that'll
right.
do it, guys.
I'm gonna
So
throw
thanks
over
for
to
joining
DT.
us
DT, you're up on the main screen, my friend.
again. Thank you all. Thank you all for joining us here today on the 137th episode of the Clockwork Cantina podcast. I'll give you guys one last look here without the glasses. There you go. There's the full pirate look. Um, yeah, thank you guys. We appreciate it as always. Go follow me on all the things. I'm gonna be playing more games on stream. Follow me on the TikTok, on the Twitter, on the YouTube, Instagram, all that good stuff. I post things on all of that, okay, from time to time, or some more than others. But follow me on all. I stay updated on all that stuff. And yeah, looking forward to talking some D&D more world building next week. And yeah, coming up for me, I'm gonna be playing Prey on stream. So if you wanna check that out, if you're a fan of that game, come check it out. We'll be starting it tomorrow. So that'll do it. Bye bye. Peace out. See you everyone.
All right. Guys, thank you. Happy Halloween. If you're going out tonight, stay safe because it is one of the more dangerous nights of the year, just to people driving and not being safe. So if you're one of the people going out there tonight and doing some trick or treating or whatever, do be safe. We want you to be safe. Also, if you're a person that's dressed up like DT and I were this episode, let us see those costumes. I'd love to see what you got on. It's always fun. Make sure to follow us on all the things over here. I am a dice maker, so if you like polyhedral dice like you use for D&D or other tabletop RPGs or even board games, make sure to check out 902 Dice Creations on Etsy, Instagram, TikTok, all those places. I have my TikTok follower count has doubled since the new workshop opened, and I've been posting photos again, which I was shocked by, which is why I mentioned it. It's mostly not to brag, but just because I was shocked at how many people started following. So make sure to give us follows on all those things. We appreciate you. There's currently a sale going on, by the way, if you are interested in some dice right now. coming up for me game wise, I want to play God of War. Like, I need to play it. Not the old one, but like the newest one that's not out yet, or shouldn't be out yet, but kind of got out because it leaked. But you know what I mean.
It leaked.
Yeah, it leaked.
God of War 2018 is what you call it.
Yeah, that's the one I want. I want God of War 2018. I need to play it. I've said I was gonna play it, and I haven't yet, and I need to before the new one comes out. I hope you had fun with us, guys. We always have fun every week doing this show. We do it every Monday at 3 p.m. Eastern. Usually every Monday. There are days when we move it on occasion, but not usually. And in closing, I want to thank Sandwich for your follow, Lucy for your follow, and Lick, thank you for your follow. Majin, thank you for your sub. Appreciate you. And guys, we will see you next Monday with D&D stuff, D&D world building on the next episode. So bye-bye, stay safe, and love you all. Bye-bye. That's the wrong one.